It's Tuesday night mead. Right. Yeah. More kazoo.
I feel the need for more kazoo. Okay, no.
Roger Haynes sending in a super sticker to get us started off right. I'm sure it's a thumbs up. I don't have my thing up here, but I'm assuming, and I'm probably right.
You have clearance, Clarence.
What's what?
We have clearance, Clarence.
We have clearance.
Okay.
Roger.
Roger.
I'm Roger Murdoch, co-pilot.
Not you, creep. Abdul-Jabbar.
Listen, kid, I bust my buns every damn night.
Well,
You like
Well,
movies about
man,
gladiators, Billy?
We got all the regulars joining us. How you guys doing? How you guys
Your
doing?
old man to drag Walton and Lanier up and down the court for 48 minutes.
How's everybody doing out there? Oh, we got Cynical Lindsay. We got Joseph Nash. We got Mr. MH. We got Holocron, Library Fox. We got Kip Ellis join us. Bill Barkley, Nihilus. Whole lot more. Jed Raybold. Ugh, I can't talk. John Connors. Glad to see you guys here. Nelson Sharita is also here as well. I got a fever, and the only prescription is more of that kazoo.
I can't do a cowbell.
I lied. I really don't want to hear it. So how's everybody doing? How is everybody doing tonight? I hope everybody's doing well.
Fantastic.
Rob, how you doing?
Oh, fantastic. Getting better all the time.
Getting better all the time.
Actually, I should say our benevolent leader, Tom, has bestowed upon me, actually,
On accident, no less.
this little gem. I haven't had a chance to unwrap it yet.
I sent it to him on accident. I meant to send it to myself, but he gets to keep it for free.
That's fine. And add it to my library.
It's in his library now.
I haven't seen it in years, so I mean, I had a pretty good soundtrack. I remember.
I have that. I might even have 2 copies of it.
So, what brings us all here?
Nice.
You know, they put a sensitive content warning on the Muppets on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It's a blitzkrieg right now. It's not
Let me tell you, those
Blitzkrieg.
blasted Muppets have got it coming. I mean, what with all their singing, you know, and telling and making.
Well, let's not get ahead of our story here, Rob. We got to introduce everybody else yet, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Stephen Otten sent us a
It was all about me, Tom.
It is. Stephen Otten sent in $5. Says, looks like I got here just in time. Hail Midnight's Edge and everyone in the chat. Congo. All right. Also with us is Paulie from Latino Slant. How you doing, Paulie? And that's right, Mike. It's a party up in here.
Orale. I'm good, man. You know, I gotta get up to speed with all the Midnight's Edge Congos, all the little sayings and everything. You know, I feel left out.
Well, what Congo is Frank Marshall, the husband of Kathleen Kennedy, directed it. So he's
did he really?
Yeah, he likes to hide in our bathroom from his wife and do coke.
Okay, you know, strike that. I don't need to know everything about it.
Oh shit, she's here.
Is Frank here? Somebody told me Frank was here.
Haven't seen him.
He's around here somewhere. He can't hide from me. Oh, there you are, Frank.
Ah shit.
I knew I'd find you hanging out with these Midnight's Edge degenerates.
The time I come out to get some fucking high C, who's here? Ugh.
This is her latest photo.
Oh my god, it looks just like her.
You're just full of toxic
I can't
masculinity.
tell which one's which. Who's talking?
Oh, the pain. The pain.
You're all toxic men, aren't you? You're
I'm
toxic.
so confused now. There's 2 of them.
This pain of being dead.
Somebody help me. Wait, is one from the future and one from the past?
Why don't you ask your floozies to help you?
Whichever one of you's from the past, don't marry me.
I am in pain.
I know, me too, still. Cocaine helps numb the pain. Congo.
$9.99 on Amazon.
That's right. And also with us, we have Script Doctor. How you doing? How's the Great White North?
Well, it's warming up a little bit over here, which is nice. So, yeah, I'm trying to enjoy that the best I can. We're +1 today, so that was good.
Steve, what have I done? Yeah, actually, it was warm here today. We got almost a 50 today. It's crazy. It was like a tropical heat wave.
We got up to about 40 around here.
Yeah. You must be in the same stream then there. Nelson Sharada sent in $2. Thank you so much. I picked the wrong night to stop sniffing glue. That's an airplane line
That's
for you.
airplane. Yeah.
All
right,
I sent
Johnny,
that
let's
one
take
to
some
you.
pictures.
Yeah, I sent that one to you too, didn't I, Rob? Airplane?
I think you might have.
I thought I did.
I had it years ago. I watched Airplane with my nephew one time.
Didn't I send you that? I thought I sent you the Steelbook.
You might have. You sent me the Steelbook of Rock and Roll High School.
Okay, that one I know I did that one.
PJ Souls.
Yeah.
He was cute back. He was cute.
I sent him so many movies, I don't even remember. I probably sent him more movies than he's ever bought in his life.
Yeah,
maybe.
Like I said, I was watching Airplane. My nephew hadn't seen Airplane, and he sees the beginning part with the tail fin moving through the clouds, and then he sees and then you see the air, the actual plane, and obviously it looks fake. He goes, "Oh, that plane looks so fake." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the point. That's the whole point. It looks fake." And it was, "Why do you have propeller sounds?" I'm like, "That again, that's the point." That's the point.
At least he picked up on it.
I hope your nephew wasn't very old. 4 I can get it.
Oh, he was like maybe 12 or 13.
Are you kidding me? And he still didn't get the satire, and he's your nephew?
Yeah, well, hey, sometimes these things skip a generation.
Evidently. Mexican Iron Man, our good buddy, sends in $9.99. Hail, how you doing? Hail to the great Mead. Thank you. In the afternoon, that's right. We're in the afternoon, evening, morning, whatever it is where you is. Hi, Rob. Hi, Tom. Hi, Script Doctor. Hi, Slantino.
Ole.
Hey.
Oy vey. Let's get it on. She did not say that. Anyway. Hello, Cosmo James. Welcome to the show. We got Captain Hare, who wants you to suffer, Rob. You should get a sound just for Captain Hare, like the dun 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 dun, because he always wants to bring you suffering.
If we're bringing up meat tropes, I demand Rob suffering. Bring on Ghostbusters 2016. Trevor Noah, Mikey Spock, people who hate the Beatles.
Maybe you just trigger it with a woman's scream.
Thank you for that, Captain Harry. We'll be getting to that Ghostbusters sooner than later. He's paid you enough now. You have to watch Ghostbusters. You know that, right?
Just silence.
You can't avoid it.
I'm confused.
Oh, Rob has not watched Ghostbusters 2016 yet.
Oh, neither have I.
Well, we're going to force him to watch it.
Yeah. It's not gonna,
get the popcorn.
And as long as I force him, I don't think it's against the Geneva Convention, only if Andre does.
Yeah, it actually has to cross international borders, too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Pilgrim Media. That's a new name around here. Welcome. Sends in $2. Where is the Viking? The Viking is sleeping. He does have the link, though, so if he happens to wake up in the middle of the night, he can come join us. But yeah, it's pretty late for Andre right now. So he probably won't be joining us tonight, I don't think. Diego Flores sends in 1690 Peruvian Soul, says, Tom, tell Paulie about how we revived Congo TV. Okay. And Blu-ray sales as a community. Yeah, he's not wrong. It had a pretty minimal impact. The popularity I created for Congo. It actually went out of stock at Amazon for a while.
Oh my God.
And then
So
Bernie Hudson remarked how he
hilarious,
wanted to do a sequel to it.
And then all of a sudden now there's a couple of people talking about a sequel. It's like, oh, weird.
Let me see.
Travels.
Is that good one for Captain here?
No, that's too alarming.
No. Okay.
I like the funeral music or something like that, you know? You know what I mean? Something like
Like a sort of Damocles.
ominous. Yeah.
Ominous, yeah.
Ominous.
Is depending on which version you use. It should be public domain. Chopin.
Most of them are.
That guy's been dead for ages.
Yeah, since like Tuesday. Nikki D sent in $5 with all that has happened to Gina. What are the odds that other actors may get canceled for past innocuous statements? Funny you ask. That is the title of this show. Everything is canceled or bad for you.
Everything is canceled.
That's right.
Everything is bad for you from the beginning. I don't know.
And just like the Muppets, we're definitely going to get into that here shortly. So keep that in mind, Nikki D. Thank you for the super chat. Because first we're going to start off with the Muppets. Because that was kind of the earlier news this week. They aren't canceled. But where the hell did my Muppet story go? I must have closed it. Gosh damn it.
New York Post Muppets.
Ooh.
Just send me the link then. Yeah.
Cancel yourself.
Let me see.
I had them all up here.
I want to go back and watch the Muppet Show, just to say, like, what the hell you people are talking about here?
Okay, now Script, you sent me the thing about the guy who's forcing. I know that was the guy who did the Apu one. What has he got to do with Scooter?
Oh, he looks like Scooter.
There's a guy claiming white privilege because Woody Allen has 6 movies on HBO Max.
Yeah, did you hear about that?
Yeah.
People are all pissed because his movies are still on there. It's like, folks, this is the same company that fucking put out Finding Neverland, for fuck's sake.
Then they actually had a good press statement. He goes, "We're going to let people make up their own minds about it."
Yeah, which to me, like, look, I get it. There is a lot that goes into this, and I'm not gonna like get into the whole thing, but it's something that's been hashed out for years. And he has been investigated. Was there even a court case or something like that at one point?
No charges were arraignment.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, well, Rob just died because he tried to give me this the thing for the Muppets. That's what happened. He'll be back. But yeah, so like I'm not gonna comment one way or the other on how I feel about it, but it's been something that's been out for a long time. Both sides have put their stories out there. You can believe what you want at this point. I mean, it's one of those things, you know. It's a real. Yeah, I'll let you talk, Rob, because you actually. I wouldn't say you're necessarily. I mean, you're basically a Woody Allen fan, kind of. So.
Yeah,
well, I know you enjoy his films, so.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Let me see something to prove it. I just want to prove a point here. Okay, you know what? You can go on Amazon Prime Video and find The Cosby Show.
Yeah.
Okay. Bill Cosby was convicted of for his crime. He was actually tried and he was found guilty, or he was found liable, whatever it is. Woody Allen never had charges brought against him.
Yeah, I mean, again,
I don't want to hear white privilege, okay?
I'm not going to get deep into it because it's one of those things where without any real solid proof, it's a real fucked up situation, and I'm not going to comment. But Captain Hare has a comment and says, "You could always give me the Darth Vader." No, from the prequels. No, maybe. If not, I was thinking we could do the Imperial March, but that would get slammed with copyright claim. Dun, dun,
actually, that is good. That's good. Do we take down the Cosby Show too? Why aren't you guys? Why aren't you demanding to take down the Cosby Show?
That people forgot about that after a couple of weeks because it was gone from some of the streaming services and then it just quietly came back. But anyway, as we were saying before you crapped out,
they got me.
The Muppet Show now has I don't have Disney Plus anymore, unfortunately. I forgot about it, but I'm sure eventually the high seas will have the better quality episodes. The Muppet Show, Disney adds a content warning over negative stereotypes. What kind of fucking stereotypes could you have in the Muppet Show?
Pigs.
I don't get
most
it.
Of the characters that aren't like regular Muppets are pigs, really. I mean,
we're just a bunch of frogs, pigs, and dogs and stuff.
And one Swedish chef, yeah.
And Gonzo.
There's an episode in season 5 where Johnny Cash is the guest star, and he's singing in front of a Confederate flag. Connecticut flag? That would be shocking. Confederate flag. Yeah, Gonzo, interspecies relationships. That's terrible.
My nose is not too long.
They determined Gonzo's an alien, right?
Yes. He fucks chickens.
Oh God.
I mean, seriously. Like, I mean, what? It's the fucking Muppets. And thank you for that, Gomer Kyle.
You can't have anything that makes people happy anymore.
Hey, Shellback. I see you guys. I know, like, what the Christ. All right. I don't know if you can bring this up because that's probably what crapped you out last time, but I'll send you the link for this and you can read through it a little bit. But
there's a guy in the Illinois state legislature who wants to ban the sale of Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, I seen that. And you got that's another thing we'll get into eventually here. Fucking because like I said, everything's canceled or bad for you.
Everything is canceled.
Everything will kill you or make you a racist. We'll go with the
New York Times story, okay? New York Post story.
Yeah.
Disney slaps the Muppet Show with offensive content disclaimer. Anyone who streams the Muppet Show on Disney Plus will see a disclaimer first. Warning of offensive content. Disney released 5 seasons of the iconic show for streaming on Friday, allowing viewers to enjoy watching Kermit the Frog, Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, and their celebrity guests as part of the $6.99 a month service. The disclaimer. Why are you asking me to share the selection on Facebook? The disclaimer shown prior to each episode warns viewers that the show features stereotypes and mistreatment of peoples or cultures. This program includes negative depictions and or mistreatment of people or cultures. These stereotypes were wrong then and are wrong now, this disclaimer states. I hear you seething, Tom. Rather than remove this content, we want to acknowledge its harmful impact and learn from it and spark conversation to create a more inclusive future together, the disclaimer says.
What is wrong with the fucking Muppets?
They're weapons of mass destruction, Tom. Their content is harmful.
Actually, they did a musical number with two sides, like in Napoleonic military outfits, singing "Why Can't We Be Friends" and blowing each other up.
That's
why can't we be friends? Which is actually pretty funny.
That is pretty hilarious.
It is. Yeah.
Which one do you have on there, Paulie? I forgot his name. He's the guy who always blows shit up.
Crazy Harry.
Is that Crazy Harry? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm ready to blow this shit up.
I like the. Who's the guy with the boomerang fish? I keep forgetting his name too.
New Zealand.
Yeah. Boomerang fish.
Disney is committed to creating stories with inspirational and aspirational themes that reflect the rich diversity of the human experience around the globe. The statement adds, just as long as they have brown hair, speak with British accents, and look like Kathleen Kennedy did in her 20s. My interjection. Oh. It's unstated precisely that what Disney considers to be offensive on the show, but some characters depict Native American, Middle Eastern, and Asian people. And in season 5, legendary country singer Johnny Cash is seen performing in front of a Confederate flag. The warning will also appear before some iconic movies, including Aristocats, Dumbo, Peter Pan, and Swiss Family Robinson.
How much you want to bet this Mickey Mouse short is never going to show there?
Oh, man.
Ooh.
But, you know, the Muppets are problematic.
Yeah.
The Muppets are problematic.
They wanted...
Or how about this one? There's more. Or how about...
like cannibalism. They're promoting cannibalism.
Here's the best one yet. And this is one you'll probably never see coming to Disney Plus anytime soon.
Oh.
Yeah. Those are all from classic Mickey Mouse cartoons, folks.
Mm-hmm.
So now, again, tell me, what the hell have the Muppets ever done that is remotely racist?
On that level? No, I can't even think on any level. Yeah.
Yeah.
Song of the South, don't forget that movie. Actually, you know, my brother Lou got a copy of Song of the South.
It's not that hard to find. I got it.
No, he had it, but well, this is back in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
He got a copy of Song of the South from like the UK. He had it transferred from PAL to NTSC or whatever it was. And I'm like, yeah, just watch. I'm like, this is not really.
It's not that great of a movie either. No. It's just the animated parts are really the best bits. And no, like there's a 35 millimeter print out there now.
Okay, good.
Stephen Otten says, other cancellations, the country of France, the letter H, and my right foot. Nobody wants to watch that movie. So, no, I'm just kidding. Alpha J has the next one here. If they call the Muppets problematic, then nothing is safe, right?
And this is, and I said this actually, Tiberius Monk, $5. Dear Hollywood, you whack jobs go after Cobra Kai. You will make Tom furious. His spirit, animal koala, will not be pleased.
They already did.
They already have tried.
They already have.
Imagine if the koala in the rain gave a fuck.
If the koala in the rain gave a fuck, shit would be bad. Because, motherfucking koala will rip your face off.
Mm-hmm.
I said this on Twitter today to someone else. I'm not going to say who. When Godzillionaire, that's great. Breaking news: Kermit the Frog forced to attend training on how to be less green.
We can talk about that. Welcome to Sesame Street News. I have been canceled. Hi ho, Kermit the Frog gone.
Like I said, I said this on Twitter to somebody else. It says, when all you have is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail. Pretty much. And that's what you're seeing now.
But thank you for that Godzillionaire. I do like that icon. That's awesome. I know you've heard that a few times now.
Now Disney doesn't have to, when Disney lobbies against raising wages for their employees, parks, they're going to say, well, what you want a living wage? Well, we got a warning label on the Muppets. What more do you want?
No, what I thought is funny, and not to jump off topic, but sort of on topic, is that idiot who had that GoFundMe or whatever, and they were trying to blame Gina for having to have a GoFundMe. It's like, now where's your GoFundMe? Because Kathy just fucking fired her. You're definitely going to need it now. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Cesario JPN says, Muppets Tonight had the most Clifford, clearly stereotype of Jamaican people like Jar Jar Binks. That show is now memory held forever. You know what's funniest about that, Cesario GPN? You know what channel Muppets Tonight was on?
It was on ABC, wasn't it?
The Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I believe that the actor who played the Muppet actually was black, but that still ain't the point. No, you're right. Like, the more racist Muppets came after Jim Henson. Tiberius Monk sends in another $2. Thank you so much. Hollywood, don't you dare try to cancel Betty White. Well, she's too white. It's in her name.
Mm-hmm.
She's next.
She's problematic.
Yeah, problematic. It's in her name. Gomer Kyle sent in another $2. Always knew Statler and Waldorf were old, mean racists.
Those guys were the shit, man.
They're old white dudes. They're just two old white dudes.
It was short.
They were just two old dudes. They talk great shit.
They're two old white dudes.
I kind of liked it. Bravo.
That was okay. Parts of it I didn't like. It wasn't that very good. It was awful. Woo!
Crazy-eyed Jedi. Did Oswald the Lucky Rabbit give birth to Mickey Mouse? Yes. That's pretty much how it worked out, because Oswald was originally the character that Walt was working with, and then I can't remember what company it was he was working under, and they ended up stealing it from him, but he ended up stealing it, I think, from somebody else to begin with. So, yeah, it's a long, sordid history. I've not seen some of those newer documentaries. I should get on those. I'm sure they got a lot newer information than what we used to have. And then Tiberius Monk once again coming in with a $2 super chat. You know the character you can't cancel? Al Bundy. I don't know about that.
Get in line.
Yeah,
Ed O'Neill, so far he's good, but yeah.
And I don't know what you said, Captain Hair, but it just sent a blank one, so I don't know if you were just sending a donation or if YouTube deleted your comment. Just say whatever you were saying if you did say something in the chat. No,
I tried to do that yesterday in your stream last night. Toxic Femme.
Oh, probably because you're trying to send swear words in Spanish. That's why. That's why.
Damn.
Yeah, it won't let you swear. It won't let you put certain words together. It's really
I did pinche, and then I did the P, and then the underscore, and they still wouldn't do that. I'm like, what? Finally, it was just pinche. But I wanted to say something more.
What does that even mean?
Pinche?
Yeah.
Effing. Yeah.
You can just say it. We're on MEAD, man.
I mean, pinche, when you put them together, it sounds really bad, but it just means like, you're a mofo, but it's pinche puta madre. And that's what Nina Infinity, that's what she swears. She said that on the show the other night.
Dirty mouth.
Yeah. And I was like, that's what she says to her Mexican friends on when she plays Mario. Pretty hilarious, man.
Oh,
pretty
Lord.
hilarious.
Yeah. Polly Mexican Man says, "Stop complaining, sit down and take your place."
Oh wait, what is what?
There's only about 3 or 4 of us on the internet right now.
Take your place like a good Hispanic brother. Oh well, there's okay. Well, that's a whole other argument there. I'm not Hispanic, but I don't want to get into it.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I could have probably said a few things.
The internet right now. Oh, shit. Yeah. Pórtate bien.
No kidding. Anyway, so moving on in the anybody want to say anything about the Muppets? I think it's pretty stupid. At least they're not censoring yet, but this is like the first step, it feels like.
It was an unnecessary act. I mean, I love the Muppets, but part of me thinks that there might be one person in the office that's think, hey, if we do this, maybe people will start watching the Muppets again.
I think it puts putting a thing on that almost puts a stigma on it. Now, some things I can understand, but I'm really stretching to think of anything from the past. And I mean, I guess I'd have to watch them again and really pay attention because I don't recall any. I mean, I can think of certain things in certain other shows right off the bat. That'd be like, oh yeah, I can see why, or why certain Looney Tunes cartoons and stuff like that would get them. Mm-hmm. But I don't understand that. Fezman93, welcome, says, forget the X-Men. I want Martin Scorsese to direct The Irishman.
God, 6 hours.
A bunch of drunk fuckers running around. Kicking each other's ass and singing fucking Irish songs by the end. And I can say all that shit because I'm Irish.
There's whiskey in the jar.
Sexually harassing some lasses. Oh, speaking of sexual harassment, now they're coming after Grease because it's misogynistic, sexist, and a bit rapey.
I'm a loving. Had me on blast.
They're putting it on blast now.
Did you get in her pants? Tell me more. Tell me more.
Did
no,
you
I didn't have the chance.
Shoulda bop bop. I mean, every song is pretty body. I mean, there's a lot of bodiness in those lyrics, but it's like,
what do you mean this movie's homophobic? I'm totally in it. It can't be homophobic.
Like, I'm gonna like do stuff to Olivia Newton-John.
I'm totally gonna touch a boob. I touch tons of boobs. What are you talking about?
That's sick.
I got so many boobs, I don't know what to do. Oh. I got boobs, they're multiplying, and I'm losing control.
Yo, they should ban he recently like redid the dance moves or whatever like a year ago. They should ban that.
Can he still pull it off?
I didn't see it. I just saw his bald head and stuff. So I didn't put the video. I didn't play the video.
I don't want to come out the closet. It's nice in here. Oh my God, it's carpeted.
The coats are soft.
The coats are soft. And I like leather. It smells like leather in here. Oh my God. So Rob, yeah, I sent you did you freeze, Rob?
No, muted? Just muted.
I sent you the story here, but they're just going after Grease now. If you want to read it or not. Social media users calling to ban the iconic 1970s hit film Grease, condemning it for being sexist, homophobic, and slut-shaming.
Why does social media have social media is not it's a bunch of people wasting time. You know, I mean, it's on the internet. That's what really social media is for. It's for taking pictures of what you had for breakfast. Look, I had cornflakes.
So anyway, Boxing Day viewing of the film on BBC One sparked outrage online with many Twitter users calling the film outdated. Well, let's see. First of all, it was made in 1978 and it takes place what, 1959, 60, 61, something like that?
Yep.
Like 61, maybe 60.
I think 61 or 62. It's supposed to take place before the Beatles came. That's the whole point. I don't know if you realize that. Did you know that, Rob?
Yes, I know that.
Okay, I was gonna say. So, like, that's the whole point of the story. It's about the greasers before the Beatles.
Yeah, Frankie Valli is still the biggest star in the at the time.
Exactly. So, like, anyway, Grease On, it really has a terrible message, doesn't it? One user said. Okay, first of all, do you really think Grease is the kind of movie you should be going to looking for good messages?
No.
And this is the problem right here also, is that everybody thinks that every movie should have some kind of message or moral or fucking no. Sometimes movies are just supposed to sit there and be stupid, like Independence Day.
Team
You know
America.
what? If Independence Day thought too much, that's what we get. Independence Day resurgence.
Yeah, actually, that's pretty good comparison. Yeah.
That's what happens when these movies think too much.
But Tom, don't you realize you have to use your platform to spread your message in 2021 because it's all about your platform and you have to make a difference and you have to teach people and you have to make sure people are doing right things and you have to make sure that you're spreading the right morals and right messaging. Don't you realize that?
Are you kidding? You know what the message of Grease is? Love conquers all.
Well, I mean, it's a musical. It's done in high schools all over the country for decades.
It's not a moral story in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, there's some shit in it that happens, but you know what? Yeah. It's a comment on a time, right? It's not like, this is what pisses me off about this historical stuff when people do this. Because the next step to this after that is they're going to sanitize the story, right? Mm-hmm. You know, and they're going to do all the shit that they always do to everything, completely negating what the whole point of the story is. I mean, Grease on its surface, the movie version, is actually already a sanitized version of the fucking story. Mm-hmm. The story is not meant to be like this. It's really not meant for teenagers. It's meant for people to be nostalgic for the time they grew up in. Like, the movie is representing the older adults that were going to see this movie at the time and the play before that. You know, like American Graffiti. It's supposed to capture a moment in time. Doesn't matter if it was politically correct or not. That's the whole point. And I'm sick and tired. Like, is everything we're going to do now going to be like this? Really? Rob, quit fucking your phone. He said there's a phone fuck.
I got chills. They're multiplying.
And I'm losing control. Sister Harrow, thank you so much. Sending in some love from the land down under. That's right. Crikey, she said in $10. Oh, I got that new Paul Hogan movie, but I got to get a new TV before I can watch it. Unless I want to just watch it up on my little screen here, maybe.
Not Paul Hogan related, but I guess I got to watch The Man Who Sued God.
It's a good movie. Sorry, but Grease sucks on so many levels. No plot, nothing.
What?
Nothing interesting happens, and the message is pure misogyny. Okay.
Nice.
My
you
God,
you millennials.
Okay, Grease. That's okay. That's subjective. Whatever. No plot. There's a plot. I could tell you more of the plot in movie Grease than I can half the new shit comes out. Nothing interesting happens. Again, subjective. Mm-hmm. And the message is pure misogyny. Okay, how is it pure misogyny when it's about mainly, like, one of the big turning points is her discovering her womanhood kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And doesn't John Travolta's character not care about what his peers think about him falling in love? Like,
well, that's kind of the point of the story. Yeah, at first he is a little whatever, but then, like, yeah, eventually it comes to the point where, like you said, for the most part, I don't really see why they should have a problem with this movie. Yeah, there's like, I don't get the slut shaming thing either. And homophobe. I mean, people were homophobes back then. Okay, things were segregated back then. Sorry, that was life. We've changed. Guess what, folks? We've changed. That's the point. We don't do these things anymore.
You notice they say it has a terrible message, but they don't really say what the message is.
Okay. Well, the drive-in scene where Sandy and Danny watched the movie together was criticized for being rapey. That's one of the reasons. One other user saying it didn't age well. Yeah. Okay. Because men.
Well, that's just John Travolta. He did not age well. Have you seen him now? He's big.
And I'm sure in a world where men, get permission slips to have sex, that can be a little alarming when a guy actually tries to make some moves and gets turned down, right?
Mm-hmm.
He did not even try to attempt to rape her at all. Give me a fucking
This next one is the kicker, though.
Okay, here we go. The lack of LGBTQ representation and diversity in the cast angered others. In the film, a radio announcer. School dance announces there was no same-sex couples on the dance floor. All couples. Well, and here's another thing. It's not even about the homophobia part. Yeah. You know why they were doing that is because the girls wouldn't dance with the boys and the boys wouldn't dance with the girls. That's the whole, but more so to get the boys to dance with the girls.
I remember there being the principal and the vice principal, and they had banter, female banter, question mark. That's not enough for them. What the?
Let me tell you,
she's a little lazy if you ask me.
Then there was a PE teacher. She was a question mark.
Pure dyke. Come
on, man. That's something for everybody. Get out of here.
Yeah, you don't think all the LGBT seriously? It's the 1950s. You don't think that the LGBTQ XYZ EIO stuff was happening like behind the scenes? You know how many back then the cheerleaders would stay late and they go over to the other girl's house to work on their routines.
Well, like I was saying, Frenchie's a little lesy kind of, and so is they're definitely Rizzo's definitely bi. You can tell. Not only that, it's a fucking musical. So like most of the people making it were probably gay. What the fuck? It's true. It's not a stereotype.
It's true. It's true.
Straight men can't do shit like that. Just sorry. Super Nate sends in $5. You guys watching Superman and Lois looks surprisingly decent. No, I really don't, because I read the script and it was shit, or at least as much as I could read of it. I'm sure some things have been changed since then, but I ain't a CW fan. That's the big thing. We've had a couple people ask, not many, but a couple, and I'm just not sure that we're gonna get into that. Are you guys going to watch it at all? I know Rob and I probably won't.
No. I'm going to be busy trying not to get blown up on Grand Theft Auto again.
But now they're going to try and ban that.
Yeah. Let me tell you something. They always say about, there's no LGBTQ representation in this 1950s movie. I'm like, geez, use your imagination. Really? The husband would go off to work. The kids were at school. The wife would be home. Before she went to do the shopping, her girlfriend would come over to have, quote unquote, coffee.
Well, it's kind of hard to have LGBTQ representation out and out when people weren't really out then. It wasn't a typical thing. I mean, that's the other thing you got. Again, take historical context.
Yes.
And in some places, it was technically a crime at that point.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
That's a whole other thing. Yeah.
Mexican Iron Man says, the lesson I learned from Greece is one that sticks with me in life. I should only date smoking hot chicks that look young, preferably blonde, and know how to dance with me and ride in a badass car. That's right.
Grease lightning, baby.
So once they cancel this, are they going to cancel Olivia Newton-John for her Let's Get Physical song?
Physical. You know what's funny about that Mexican Iron Man is she's actually older than John Travolta here, if I remember right.
Yeah, she's older.
Hey, there's one thing you can't cancel from back then, Johnny Quest, because it's the first show depicting two gay men raising a child.
Yeah, but they have a Hindu slave boy, and Tim Matheson, who is the voice of Johnny Quest. I think he's under fire for his play in Animal House.
Oh shit! I didn't know he actually did that.
Really? Yeah, Tim Matheson was the voice of Johnny Quest.
No shit.
Oh, better not give them the ideas because they're going to come for Animal House soon.
Oh, fuck. That's next. Definitely next. Between that and because they've already circled around Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and I'm like, what the fuck can you do to it? It's a true goddamn story. Everything that happened in that book happened.
Yes. and made by a woman director, Amy Heckerling.
I mean, and then because they've been circling around all these other movies, and it's like, okay, so then after that, they're going to go after Animal House because that one is.
Well, the implication is that during one scene is that Pinto has sex with an underage girl, but he doesn't. He doesn't.
But I mean, that's the scene. Like that's the one that everybody's going to key in on.
Yeah, and there's that scene later in the football field. I'm only 13, and he stops, and you don't know what happens after that. You don't know what happens. You fill in the blanks. Not saying it's right, but like
and it was also again that's a time period thing.
Again, yes, the 1962.
Roland. No, Animal House, but
no, we're jumping all. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, sorry. Roland S sends in $5 or €5 actually. You got the British music?
Yeah, somewhere. Oh, €5. It's not. It's not British.
It's in European. Yeah,
you're right. I'm dumb. We need something for that though. That's like cool, like some Euro music,
like a gondola theme type of thing.
I wonder how many electric unicycle users are watching this stream. That's a good question. All two of them.
Did you ever hear that bit by David Tell? Anybody keep a diary, journal, captain's log? Here's something you'll never read in any diary. The moment when he rode up on his unicycle, I knew I had to have. I knew. No, fuck. I knew
I had to have them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nelson
David Tell's not bad. He's pretty good.
There's another one. Three Stooges, Flintstones, Gilligan's Island. Everything from more than 10 years ago is offensive. That is correct. You can't expect it to be PC when PC didn't exist. And even in times when there was PC, like in the 90s and stuff, they still find shit to pick on. Even though things were much more diverse back then in a lot of cases. Not when we're talking about Grease and stuff like that, obviously, because it's a snapshot of a period of time of kids in an area that were whatever. I mean, look, do we have to spell it out that people were still segregated back then for the most part? I mean, really? Do people not think that history started before they were born anymore?
They have no idea what happened. No, they have no idea.
So anyway, let's get through this because we've got a couple super chats to get through as well. But many come to defend the musical calling woke critics over sensitive snowflakes. Yes, you are. Please don't ban Grease. I know all the words, and I've got a crush on Danny Zuko, one user wrote. A third wrote, I really can't believe the snowflakes want to ban Grease. What the fuck? At the end of the film, Sandy transforms into from a good girl to bad girl, impressing Danny with a new fashion style and attitude and smoking cigarettes. That didn't make the difference. He wanted her before that.
Yeah. He was willing to change for her, and she was willing to sort of change for him. And it wasn't really like a change. It's more like just breaking out of their own shells.
Exactly. Like, yeah, he was willing to, exactly, accept more of her lifestyle, and she was more accepting of his. All right, let me go. Where was I? At the end of the film, I wish my girl Sandy would have recognized Danny Zuko was trash, and she didn't need to change for anyone. Jesus Christ. Clearly somebody's not
get it.
Yeah.
Wondering what she's doing now. All the days drift down to
oh God, we just got a title of the new Spider-Man movie.
I don't know if that's real or not. I don't think that's real.
Spider-Man phone home.
No, I don't think that's real.
No, that's one of the two trolls that I've seen this afternoon.
I don't think that's real.
All right.
Newton John, who plays Sandy, has previously dismissed sexism claims. It's a movie and a fun story, and I've never taken it too seriously. Exactly. It's a snapshot of high schoolers from the early 60s, before the Beatles and hippies were a thing. Deal with it. Get over yourself, for fuck's sake.
Like I keep saying, this makes people feel too empowered. look, I'm going to change the world right here for my, I just tweeted, I made a difference. No, you haven't.
The only kid who's going to change the world from his phone is the one who actually comes up with the fucking formula to cure cancer or some shit. That's all. We got these super chats I want to get through here. Felicity Poubelle, if I'm saying that right. Poubelle. People who need to see themselves in film or on film, should make their own content. Don't wait for corporations to meet your needs because it's never genuine. Exactly. And I brought the same thing up when Leslie Headland was talking about, I want a black writer to write my Star Wars story. And it's like, well, why don't you just get, because she wanted the black perspective. It's like, well, if you want to tell a story from the black perspective, there's hundreds, if not thousands of people out there who have scripts already written, stories they want to tell. Go do that.
Yep.
Because I'm sure there's an actual black person who is a Star Wars fan who would love to tell a Star Wars story that you're taking the place of right now anyway. So that's the other thing they don't take into consideration. Kind of like Brie Larson. She's like, we need more diversity, but yet you're the one playing fucking Captain Marvel.
What?
I like all the Star Wars, bud.
I like all the Star Wars.
All of them.
Yeah, there's no favorite Star Wars. There's just Star Wars.
Who's your favorite character?
That guy. That guy.
Yoda?
Anyone but the white guy. Because I don't like. I need diversity.
Size Noodles?
Was he? Yeah, the Size Noodles. My favorite guy in the Star Wars is the Dr. Spock.
I hate to tell you, the Dr. Spock's in a different movie, and he's not a doctor.
He's not. Well, he's got the instrument. Isn't it they call him Boney, don't they?
No, that's a different guy.
Oh, my bad.
My Leslie Headland action figure.
Oh, okay. We got that. Thank you so much, Felicity. Tiberius Monk coming in with another one says, you can cancel faux warriors and try to cancel Popeye's chicken sandwiches, Xbox, electronic music, and vodka. You can frack off. Yeah, just getting too much. We got a super sticker from Mr. Tickle Trunk. Thank you so much. Hopefully your trunk is being tickled tonight like Mr. Tickle Trunk. That's always a good thing. And then he sends in another super chat. Let's see here. It says, when do you think we can make sure women cover their knees again and we get back to covering piano legs so we can find this male gaze thing? Oh, I don't get it. Because the first, and not only that, first they want you to have a Puritan outlook on everything, but then yet they're supposed to be allowed to run around naked. You can't have both.
And covering the knees is a little bit too gracious. They want to cover up to the ankles.
But yet they don't. That's the thing.
Exactly. They can't make up their mind.
Because if you say that, then you're slut shaming. See, that's the thing. It's a trap. It's all a trap. No matter what you say is the wrong answer.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's have you stopped beating your wife?
Exactly.
That's what it all comes down to.
Diego Flores sends in a Peruvian $10 or 10 souls. I can't even fucking do it. They poked and prodded me at the doctors and they took a bunch of blood. Goddamn bastards. I tell you, I can't even think straight today. I'm already got low blood sugar all the damn time. Now they're taking blood. I will be honest. This is what happens when a society becomes too entitled and not suffer actual adversity. Like Latin America and all the coups and proxy wars. Exactly. I don't know if Paulie wants to say anything about that, but
yeah, we could use a good, genocide to toughen up this generation in America.
Oh gosh.
We need some sort of struggle. We need some sort
of. We're going through a social genocide right now where they're trying to exterminate points of view within entertainment.
That's not the same. I know
it's not the same.
No, I hear it, but it's like what's that karate story where the kid wants to be given a black belt? Get the hell out of here.
Go to Walmart, buy a black belt. That's as close as you're going to get.
Raging Rhino sent me this video here. I don't know exactly what it is, as long as it's not porn. Let's see here.
Wondering what she's doing now.
Summer dreams ripped at
the seams.
But Gen Z kids having no knowledge of significant historical figures or events.
Helen Keller is the Nazi guy. No.
What Nazi guy?
I don't know. He's like a terrorist.
Helen Keller is a Nazi terrorist that is a male. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna write Helen Keller up here. Yeah.
For God's sake.
Are you thinking of Hitler?
Who's Hitler? Is Hitler who's Hitler?
Who is Hitler?
Helen Keller was the deaf person who was fake. She didn't exist, but everyone believes she was deaf and blind.
What? She was fake?
Yeah, she was deaf and blind.
What Pearl Harbor was, if I say Pearl Harbor.
Is that a bridge? Dude.
Do you know what D-Day is?
Who?
D-Day.
A person? A rapper?
Oh my
are you being
fucking God.
For God's sake.
Helen Keller is the Nazi guy.
Okay, that's just starting.
Is this like the
Holy
first day of class
shit.
and these are his new students and he's like shocked? By
I
the
think
previous
so.
teachers?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, this is why. Fucking, and these are teenagers. These are teenagers.
That is frightening.
Holy shit. You can see the surprise in the teacher's eyes there.
Yeah.
He's live streaming it because he can't fucking, or recording it because he can't fucking believe it. Holy shit. Well, thanks for that, Rhino. Yeah, that's the problem with society right now. That's where we get to this shit. Now, I want you guys to tell me anything you want to say about Grease besides singing, Paulie.
I'm
Go
trying not
watch
to
Grease.
say.
Go watch Grease.
I
like
got
it.
chills.
It was my first album. Double vinyl.
That's
It
right.
was a double vinyl, man.
Cyber lithium schools are nothing but indoctrination facilities. No, they're because you gotta be.
You're turning into him, though. He's not totally wrong. I mean, I'm not saying
Not
it's
wrong.
not a little hyperbolic, but it is getting to that point.
Yeah.
Script, anything you have to say about Grease?
Watch the movie. It's really fun.
Good
A
movie.
lot of fun. Grease Lightning.
For musical, it's not bad. I don't know if Rob likes it, but
Take it or leave it.
I figured
It's too bad that they don't have any theater actual showings of it on stage around right now
they
because
just released it like 2-3 years ago for the 40th anniversary.
Yep.
And
Oh, for crying out
the
loud.
live performance is also way more entertaining because like the audiences like sing along and there's energy there. So if you ever do get a chance to see it live, go for it too.
I hear they even integrated the last song or the not last song, but the next to last song, the One That I Want or whatever, even into it now. I heard.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That'd be
well,
awesome.
some of those songs
some
were
do.
just for the movie. They weren't in the original.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that one was just for the movie, and there was like one or two other ones, and they've integrated them now. I think they did the same thing with Little Shop of Horrors. They replaced the last song, whatever it was.
You know, I do have something to say. If you guys are going after the wrong Grease movie,
Grease 2, exactly. Motherfucking A, right. If you want to go after a Grease movie, that's the one.
that's
Jesus
the one.
Christ.
I want a cool rider.
Shut up. They sing about fucking bowling in that movie.
Go back
Grease too?
Yes.
to school.
Fucking hate that fucking movie. I got that fucking soundtrack on record.
Sorry,
I'll
guys.
never transfer
was-
to fucking.
Sorry.
I'll never
That was on,
transfer.
like, HBO and the movie channel like every
Sorry.
fucking day.
Sorry, Tom.
Don't be sorry. It's
Bro,
just,
No, I have a question for you. I have a serious question for you.
yeah.
Where did the pollen go?
Anyway, Mr. Tickle Trunks said $5. Oh, I likes me some good ankles. Oh yeah. Are you 95?
Remember freaking Marge Simpson's mother got I was arrested for indecent exposure. She had she had her ankles exposed at the beach.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Diego Flores is coming in again. Paulie, let's not do Dalek. Maybe a few good communist guerrillas. What? But let's not escalate the G word.
Yeah, lo siento, mis
Yeah,
hermanos.
I think he was goofy.
Yeah, I just saw
A little dark humor there.
a little too dark, but yeah.
How do you say dark humor in Spanish?
I don't know.
Well, fucking figure it out. That's what you're here for.
Oh shit!
I'm kidding.
Where's Mexico?
I'm kidding. Jesus. Roland S coming back again with some more euros for the coffers. Says, ha, You do not even know what an electric unicycle is. Let me explain with my bought time. It is a Segway with only one wheel. It's fun to ride. So that means you're one of those two watching. No, I did not know there was an electric unicycle. That is new to me. So you're talking that's a Segway. Gotcha.
No, yeah, it looks like a skateboard, but the wheels in the middle, and you got your
wheel.
left and right on either side.
Yeah. I always wanted a Segway, but I was afraid I'd destroy shit, like badly. And then Goddess of Whim, thank you so much, says, "Yay, we're doomed." Yes, we are. We're all doomed.
I love how all the Latinos are like correcting me in the fucking chat.
Well, that's why he didn't want to say it.
Yeah, I was like, thanks, Juan.
Hey, we always need Juan.
Not tú.
There's always Juan.
Mexican Iron Man who can only have 3 on the internet at a time.
Yeah. Get out of here, Juan. There's too many of you. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
At least I didn't make like an internet Home Depot joke. You know, that's where I was going to go before. That's bad. Canceled. Cancel time. And then we got another one here. Looks like too. It says all Mexican humor is dark humor.
Damn.
One after another.
Wait a minute. Can you go back to that? Can you go back to that?
Yes.
Do you know what his name is?
I saw it.
Krusty Moco.
Yeah.
Wait, it's he's Pancho Villa. I'm
trying to find it. It disappeared.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was Pancho Villa. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Well,
this is a different one from him, but yeah.
God, that's brilliant.
Gorilla Glue.
It's Pancho Villa, Krusty Moco.
I am curious how many
Moco
of
is
the Latino persuasion we do have in the chat, because I'm sure the Latino slam has his fans.
Well, raise your mano. See, just raise your mano, guys, in the chat. And I don't want to like, and everyone's welcome.
What's he got to do with any of this?
Ray Romano.
Raise your mano, your hand.
What about Ray Romano's hand?
Don't mind Rob. He's got the brain of a 4-year-old.
There you go. Right here. Here you go.
All right. Now are we ready to get all fucking pissy?
That's not even accurate.
Inverse. Like an inverse brain. Rob.
Real
I gotta find Days Johnston is person. I gotta see what could this person possibly look like? Days Johnston. Oh, there you go. Yeah. And when she's typical millennial, short hair, duck lips, pretending to be cool.
Oh, look at this. We got a few people. I don't know if this is a thumbs up meaning 1, 2, but there you go. We knew about Cosmo James, yeah. Oh, yeah. Quite a few people. Of course, Diego.
La gente, they love you, brother. I don't know about Rob.
Adam Lopez.
They love you.
Well, he still hasn't told me, but what about Ray Romano's hand?
It was up your butt.
Oh.
No, exactly. That's
like,
exactly.
Why isn't this Muppet working?
Rob, you got it right. That guy, yeah.
All right.
Anyways.
Gina Carano fired.
I think Mexican Iron Man's lying. He's not really Mexican.
Gina Carano fired. How did an army of Twitter Stans change Star Wars forever? So everybody was named Stan? How did they get so many people named Stan in one place to post on Twitter at the same time?
Okay, Rob.
What? It says it right there. Twitter Stans.
Enough of the dad jokes. I'm worse at them than you are, for fuck's sake.
Okay. For a franchise almost 45 years old, Star Wars remains timeless, but that doesn't mean people behind it are exempt from progress.
What?
I was waiting for someone to say that. Gina Carano's firing from the role of Cara Dune. Cara Dune.
I've been waiting for you to do that for so long, dude. You realize that? You've never made that joke till now.
Change the lanes. It's a George Harris song.
I have left it alone for Rob
Sorry.
to do it because I knew, being the Beatles man, I'd let him do it. And it took him this fucking long to do it.
That's
I've
2
been doing
years.
it off camera. I've been doing it off camera, actually.
Can we just say that the chat is like doing some amazing bilingual humor?
I love it.
Humor negro.
Hey, we can't have that kind of language on here.
Krusty Moco says he's trans frijolero.
I'm the crusty mofo.
And we got one from Fat Steven Seagal says, after seeing Kermit the Frog spank Miss Piggy, I'm out.
Oh yeah, that's.
Mm.
I don't want to show you, Tom, but someone sent us something that was pretty horrifying.
It sounds like it must be fun.
Hmm.
So in other words, yes, whatever it is.
Anyway, Gina Carano's firing for the role of Cara Dune changed the landscape of The Mandalorian, reshaped the overall Star Wars fan experience. Suddenly, the fandom wasn't divided by Abrams versus Johnson or prequels versus sequels. The only thing that seemed to matter was where you stood on fire Gina Carano versus I stand with Gina Carano. How did it happen? An alliance of extremely dedicated and extremely young fans took it upon themselves to ruin Star Wars for everyone by being a bunch of pretentious little shits. Oh, that's my interjection. To make sure everyone was included, even in the face of derision. This is a hit piece, isn't it? This is trying to justify everything. Inverse spoke to 3 people behind the Fire Gina Carano movement to find out how they got one of the Star Wars galaxy's brightest and biggest stars fired, why it matters, and most importantly, what happens next. There's the tweet. I can't people understand. Gina Carano isn't the victim. She's the villain. Hashtag fired Gina Carano. What happened?
Diego Flores sends in 5 Peruvian souls again. Says, Tom, take this money and get some sugar, please. You need it. Sadly, if I did eat a bunch of sugar, that'd probably put me in a diabetic fucking coma. Probably need some protein.
It all
Protein,
started.
some fiber,
Yeah.
some carbs.
Yeah. It all started on September 8th, 2020, when Carano liked a comment by YouTuber claiming people with pronouns in their bios were mad about the video he made defending her. That was who was that? Probably Ethan.
That or one of us. They don't even have their timeline right. They're jumping over a bunch of shit here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It started August 2nd, really.
Yeah, this went back to that original photo that she posted with the guy who didn't salute.
Mm-hmm.
That's where this all started. Then came the trans thing, and people have even been twisting that one around because they've been saying that she changed it to mock people. No, and people are saying that she changed it after she talked to Pedro. No, she changed it before she talked to Pedro and explained in her tweet that it was not directed at anybody who was trans. It was directed at those who were fucking going after her.
Mm-hmm.
And if they happen to be trans, well, tough fucking shit, I guess. It wasn't about that. It was about the fact that they were mobbing up on her. And she clearly stated that several fucking times now.
Well, okay. Well, this led to a number of accounts replying to her, explaining why people put pronouns in their bios, not just in support of in solidarity with trans people, but just to make it easier to speak to each other. How about you calling somebody by their name? Hey, Gina. Hey, Gina. Hey, Gina. How about that?
That's the way I am. When I'm talking to somebody, I'm either going to call you by your name or I'm not going to refer to you as he, she, them, their, whatever. You're right in fucking front of me.
Or you refer to somebody by their nickname. Hey, fuckface.
Yeah, if you want to, yeah. I mean, but if you are somebody in a group of people and you do feel that way, I will never say no to somebody. And most people I know would gladly, accommodate anybody's wishes like that. But the whole point we've made a million times over to sit there and force somebody to put them in their bio, that's just fucking wrong. And anybody who thinks that's right and okay is just full of shit. And then they're trying to twist this shit around on her. It's bullshit. Sorry, Rob, continue.
Okay. They pointed to her co-star, Pedro Pascal, who put his pronouns in his display name. In response, Carano blocked them, which she has the right to do. I'm crying. It only took 4 minutes, tweeted Kennedy at Darth Socus when Gina blocked her.
Later, Kennedy, who asked to remain anonymous behind their Twitter account, reflected on that moment. She didn't know anyone to reply, Kennedy tells Inverse. She could have just ignored requests or politely declined them, but she decided to respond negatively and allowed her supporters to do the same.
Wait, Kennedy said this?
Somebody named Kennedy. That's their Twitter name.
Oh, okay. Not Kathleen Kennedy.
Carano claimed people were harassing her for months to put her pronouns in her bio. They were. So she decided to find a way to make light of the hate. Echoing Pedro's method of showing his pronouns, she changed her Twitter display name to Gina Carano, boop, bop, beep. But to Star Wars fans and to trans people like me, I don't give a shit, the hate she was making light of wasn't against herself. It was against trans people.
Oh, well, we found the bias in this article.
How? By not acknowledging me. Fuck you. Who the fuck are you? Everyone's fucking special treatment.
Guess what? I don't care what your fucking pronouns are, who you were, what you are, if you're writing this article. I don't care.
Listen, in the words of Dennis Leary, my hate is not based on race, creed, sexual orientation, or sexual preference or identity or whatever. My hate is based on performance. Okay.
You're so right. Please BitChute, but I can't put that on screen or say it out loud.
Well, anyway. It was against trans people. Joke pronouns, regardless of the intent, diminish the importance of sharing pronouns. Oh, fuck off. That's when Fire Gina Carano first started. It began with just a handful of tweets, but the determination to get it trending combined with the sheer numbers behind Star Wars Twitter community was enough to build momentum. It was a coordinated effort then. You admit it was a coordinated effort. And do you think I was about to say, how much you want to bet that there's a marketing firm behind this? Then those who disagreed with the hashtag began sharing their own opinions, which inadvertently helped it become more popular. By September 13th, hashtag Fire Gina Carano was trending in the U.S. Months later, in an interview with the former New York Times op-ed writer Barry Weiss, no stranger to controversy herself, Carano revealed Lucasfilm had provided an apology she could use to diffuse the situation. I declined and offered a statement in my own words. I made clear I wanted nothing to do with mocking the transgender community and was just drawing attention to the abuse of the mob in forcing people to put pronouns in their bio.
And ignoring the fact that they forced her to apologize. They wanted her to do a pre-written apology, and they were in agreement on that pre-written apology down to a couple of words, at which point they could not see eye to eye.
Yes.
That needs to be stated. It's not like she didn't make the effort to work with them.
What followed was a feedback loop. Carano would post a meme relating to free speech. The replies would be followed with a string of the few non-block stands, idiotic terms, asking her to apologize, which would prompt her to double down. This cycle would continue until Carano posted a series of anti-Semitic memes, not true.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Which was finally enough for Disney to take notice and fire her.
Also technically not true.
In the vast cafeteria of Star Wars fandom, there are all sorts of tables. There are the rumor Redditors, there are theory YouTubers, the podcasters, hello, and novel evangelists, the retractors, the shippers. The list goes on. But on Twitter, there's one main group single-handedly fueling the enthusiasm for Star Wars, the fans. Bull fucking shit.
You've lost the fans.
Yeah, good luck. Yeah, enjoy the Acolyte. See how far that gets you.
Yeah, while you're taking a drink there, I'm going to grab these super chats. Felicity Pubel. Ooh, can't talk. No matter how much blame could be attributed to either party, Disney Lucasfilm handled this situation like stupid teenage high school girl. Yes, that's exactly what is going on behind the scenes. And I'm sure Script will back me up on this. It's like a bunch of fucking Mean Girls shit. It's high school bullshit.
Yeah, it's fighting over the popular table of the cafeteria type of war.
Absolutely. And then the popular table is just basically the center ring, the executives and all that kind of stuff. The people who make the decisions. Cesario JPN sends in $5. As Anna, that Star Wars girl, pointed out, the article being read now isn't even hiding the fact that it was organized effort to cancel someone for the wrong ideas. Yeah, Rob said that, and you sent that in just before he said it too. But yeah, clearly. And I know they're not. I've even seen so-called journalists, and I wish I would have grabbed the tweet because I went back to try and find it and I couldn't. But they flat out said, we've been trying to find something for 2 months. Now we've got it. It's like, yeah, you guys have been fucking gunning for her. No matter what she does, everything she says is scrutinized under a fucking microscope, and you motherfuckers will never admit once that you're wrong. You know, that's the other thing that pisses me off more than anything. And this is so-called journalism here. Ugh, yeah. Anyway, Pewmonger, thank you for that. That's an awesome name. Says, if you guys like breaking narratives, check out the Hijabi Gamers YouTube vid on Gina Shapiro, Muslim girl gamer with a cat. Wow. Very reasonable. The other side keeps talking diversity, but we are diversity. Well, that's kind of what we've been saying too, Pew. So yeah, I'll definitely try and remember that to check that out. So you guys check that out as well on behalf of Pewmonger. We'll get into some more super chats here in a minute, but yeah, Rob, continue to read this stupid fucking article or whatever the fuck it is.
Well, a news article implies that it has.
I was going to say it should be. I guess it could qualify as an editorial.
Call it a piece.
It's a piece of bullshit.
Yes, exactly. I didn't say a piece of what, but Stan accounts are recognizable by their handles, usually a mishmash of Star Wars words or names, and a profile picture of some popular character. Like any Stan fandom, haha, you're so witty. You can find them in replies of tweets with fan cams. What? Fan-made montages of celebrities or characters set the pop song. What? This is totes adorable. When it comes to, say, members of the BTS or Jughead from Riverdale, you're getting into. I recognize the words, but I don't know what they mean anymore. But a little less cute when you focus on lesser-known aliens like Kit Fisto or Yaddle. BTS, or I call them the Butts fandom.
I understand those words, but they don't make any sense.
It's like listening to a written word salad. It's weird.
It is like that's what every article these are anymore. I know these words, but they don't make any sense.
Still, Star Wars Stan Twitter thrives from teaching Pedro Pascal, oh, for God's sake, how to properly use the skull emoji to express laughter to live tweeting the Mandalorian episode run on sentence in the early hours of the morning. Demographic, Star Wars Stan Twitter is mainly teenagers raised with social media and with too much fucking time on their hands. They know its power, unfortunately, and they know how to use it, sadly. I have been myself overwhelmed.
They don't understand it.
I've been myself overwhelmed multiple times by Stan Twitter. So it's hard to think about how overwhelming it can be for actors, says Reggie. A Stan who posts under the handle, I'm not even going to try to say that, Digibafugiju, and asks to remain anonymous. Well, if you're so proud of it, why don't you reveal who you are? However, there's a difference between getting without reason hate and being called out for wrong actions. I don't think you know the difference.
They are still trying to make up excuses, aren't they?
Other stands also objected to claims Carano had been the subject of bullying. She was.
I'm really starting to think that Roland S is a electric unicycle salesman,
or enthusiast.
Enthusiast for sure. Roland S sends in 10 euros again. Thank you so much. You've almost sent enough now that I might be able to get one of these. So you might want to just cut that and just send it.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Anyway, you guys do not understand how an electric unicycle works. I know, I don't. I'm waiting for you to tell me. It's like a Segway with only one wheel. Right.
Yeah, there are pedals on the left and right-hand side of the wheel. You stand on them and you go.
Okay. Here's
much more useful since one have the weight.
Bulk and this article and this unicycle.
Here's a good part here, guys. Here's a good part. This guy, he says, I only ever saw people trying to educate her. And of course, some people were angry, but overall, it was people just trying to teach her to do the right thing. And she outright refused, said V, another Stan who also wished to be anonymous. Why is it up to you? Who appointed you judge and jury? Seriously, why is it up to you to educate her? Why?
Well, what's funny is the type of because Captain Robert April here says Stan is actually short for stalker fan. Okay. Mm-hmm. If that's what they're trying to paint people as, that's the best part because you can see the narrative they're trying to build up here. And I'm sorry, but none of these fucking people that I know that were standing up for Gina are these things. I'm sure that she has some stands, but that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to paint this narrative that nobody with a fucking sound mind could possibly agree with anything she's saying or think that she meant anything but what they're trying to claim she said.
Yeah, they're trying to reshape the narrative.
Exactly. And I'm starting to get pissed. Like, I'm getting to the point where I don't know what to do. Like, all we can keep doing is keep beating this drum and drilling it until more people start listening. Because a lot of the normies just don't care or they're not paying attention anyway.
Well, Twitter needs people need to lose their power on Twitter is what needs to happen. Okay, there are plenty of conservative celebrities. There are plenty of celebrities who don't include pronouns in their social media. The difference between those people and Carano is that Carano fought back. If you're a celeb, so you just wanted her to roll over for you, right? That's what it is. You had a hissy fit because you found the one person who stood up to you. If you're a celebrity, you're in power. Nobody can force you to do anything. All you have to do is ignore those requests. Asking Stans whether someone should be fired for being conservative yields some surprising answers. One person I asked took 10 minutes to answer because she sincerely couldn't comprehend how I defined the term. Because these Stans are typically so young, ranging from 15 to 17 years old, fuck off. They don't see conservative as a signifier of wanting lower taxes, smaller government, and deregulation. Conservative to them means increasingly becoming conflated with bigot. So it doesn't seem like Gina is the one that needs re-educating, does it?
No, because they're the ones who are doing all the fucking hoop hopping to try and get to these places. Mm-hmm.
But they're not the only ones. Outcry after Carano's firing seemed to be focused on her being fired for being conservative, which is easily debunked. She expressed conservative values and transphobia for months before Lucasfilm took action. No, she didn't! She wasn't fired for conservative values. She was fired for hate speech. No, she didn't! No, she wasn't! And claiming the two are the same from either side harms everyone. Perspective is key here. Lucasfilm wants to make sure Star Wars is as marketable to as many people as possible. Hate speech directed at a specific group, in this case, both the Jewish and transgender population, is a liability to that mission. So the company will take action. Hate speech means you can lose your job. It's as simple as that. Oh, but you defend Christina Ariel. Justify that. You fired Gina Carano, but you defend Christina Ariel. Yeah. You're so against hate speech, you're willing to sweep her under the rug. This doesn't mean Lucasfilm doesn't care about its fans. I'm pretty sure they don't by now.
All right, settle down, Rob. You made Jason R's dog scared.
Lucasfilm is nothing without the fans. But fans are not a monolith. Not all of them have strong opinions about McClunky Gate. And not all of them tweet montages of Ahsoka Tano. Some of them are 8 years old who had Darth Vader birthday parties, and some of them are housewives who run Instagram accounts for their Grogu plushies. There's no definition of Star Wars fan, and because of that, there's no room for it. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Wait a minute.
bending yourself into a pretzel trying to justify your actions.
No. Finish this garbage. I want to hear what she has to say.
What's next? The same week, fan culture was dealing with the fallout from Carano's firing. Joss Whedon was the subject of chilling allegations by Charisma Carpenter and other members of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer cast. Gross misuses.
What does that got to do with this?
No, they're just finding their next target.
Conflating shit. Okay, well, get past this shit. Get to the part where they get to the fucking Rosario Dawson, because that's where I'm gonna get real pissed.
The Ahsoka problem, though not currently part of the Mandalorian's recurring cast, Rosario Dawson is poised to star in her own Mandalorian spin-off series, simply entitled Ahsoka. However, Dawson and her family were recently sued by a trans man who claimed they purposefully misgendered him and even assaulted him. Though all charges against Dawson herself were later dropped, the fandom is wary of another Carano-like situation that's lurking. It bugs me and several other people, and I think it would be good if they at least recast the actress because she already made so many people uncomfortable, says V.
Well,
tough shit. That's all I got to say.
I hate saying it.
They found their next target.
I fucking knew it! Oh!
Kennedy agrees, adding, I think that the majority of Stan Twitter, myself included, are skeptical of her because we don't know if the charges on her are true or not. The charges were dropped. It doesn't fuck off. Because there's no extensive evidence like there was on Carano's Twitter account, opinions are still mixed on Dawson. Stan Twitter tried to get Fire Rosario Dawson trending, but a lot less people were on board, Kennedy says. Unlike Carano, Dawson has expressed horror at the claims against her and has reiterated her support for trans voices.
So did Gina. What a fucking narrative they are spinning here.
Drawing the line in these matters is always difficult, but for now, Lucasfilm is somewhere between Carano's actions and Dawson's. For the most part, the community seems to be basking in the prospect of supporting The Mandalorian without the mental gymnastics that's required just to justify the cast. I've heard a lot of marginalized communities who stopped watching the show because it made them uncomfortable, incapable of separating the actress and the character. That's your fucking problem, Reggie. Now that she's gone, people can be free to watch it without feeling absolutely awful about themselves or their identity. Fuck the hell off, people. Seriously.
None of these people should feel awful about themselves just for watching a show. That's the other part that's not like considered.
But I want to see myself on screen.
Take a picture, look at it on your phone. There you go. Start yourself on screen.
For God's sake.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting to see yourself on screen. As long as it's it is just my opinion. As long as it's of quality writing and characters and story, but they're gonna have a hard time going after Rosario just because of some of the communities that she's been so involved with all her life. I mean, she's like she's the
Holy Grail, technically.
She's the Holy Grail, exactly. She had, and the proof in the pudding, so.
And that's what that's what this article is saying here, though, is that they know that this is going to be a problem. Sorry, Paulie, continue.
No. That's just it. That's I'm curious. I'm really curious to see how that rolls out. With in regards to Rosario, her family, then all the work that she's involved with in the community, from voter registration to United Farm Workers to it's just like on and on and on. Good luck.
They've already tried to start it. They were going after her before Gina, so
they were.
Yeah.
And to your point, Paulie, I think yes, you make a good point that some people want to see themselves, but it's very difficult also to the last thing a creative wants is to have their character or the physical attributes of that character divorce themselves from the audience being able to relate to them. So you're right. We need them to have, deep character attributes and traits and things that we can identify with and grab onto and want to seize. And what's terrible is that a lot of these people just want the superficiality of it. Correct. So they're going to do even more of a disservice.
Big time. Exactly. Then it's and then you know, and then even for suggesting it, you know, for me suggesting that, you know, people wanted to see. I'm not sorry about that. I want to see myself on films, on television that aren't stereotypes. You know,
Exactly, yeah.
You guys talk about you talk about racism. Hollywood's been racist against in the portrayals of minorities for decades, and now they're putting them up. They're still awful representations, man. You know, I'm talking about, you know, a quality story first. Get those, let's get, you know, a quality story first. That's just it. And if that character is, you know, from that background or that background, fantastic. Then you've pleased me, you know, and
well, you've opened the world up, right? That's the other part too. You have to open up the world, and you do that by making sure that doesn't matter what the ethnicity is, that the characters you're writing are genuinely good characters, well developed, relatable.
Well, and at the end of the day, the more, you know, specific you are about your story, the more universal it'll be, because your story is just so wonderful.
Exactly.
You know?
And the overlap too, like even from different cultures, there's so much overlap of experiences that we all share and just don't recognize off the top of our heads, that you can tell, and just brings us more together. Like, oh yeah, that person from that different country goes through the same stuff I do.
And right, and you know, in case in point, right? So you got, you know, anyone thinking, I love the chat, but you know, just hear me out. One of the greatest American stories, I think, is the story of Cesar Chavez, not the boxer, the United Farm Worker Organizer. And the story was finally told in a movie, right? And it had Diego Luna directing, Rosario Dawson in it. It had Michael Peña as the lead. It wasn't a good film because it just the screenplay sucked.
Yeah.
It just tried to be sanctimonious, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? So
well, that's the worst thing you can do, is be disingenuous with your story and your characters, right?
Yeah.
And then to go to your other point, Paulie, like you were saying, like another clear example is when we were talking about La Bamba, and it's like, you know, you kind of sat down and realized, well, shit, like, you know, this is clearly not just, you know, something that to relate to if you're, you know, from a Mexican background or a Latino background, because, you know, we pointed out, like, yeah, there's a lot like Irish families and this kind of family and that kind of, like, yeah, that's the thing, is that's what always brings us together. And that's what they forget about, is we find our similarities within our differences. And that's where we build relationships and relate. And then we get to know each other's differences from there.
And they go after, they're going after Grease. They're going after, what was the other one? Basically these movies that are still standing the test of time because we enjoy them. It's great entertainment. They don't want that. They don't want that. You know?
No. And Adam Mulford sends in $10, says, you are not her parents. It is her parents' responsibility to teach their kids, respond, and honor. So anyway, they're an asteroid passing by next week. Also, it's the size of the Empire State Building. Any bets?
Take it out. A target right in the middle of it.
Por favor.
Oh Lord, we need that right about now.
Congratulations, Disney. This is the fandom. This is what you wanted. These are the fans you wanted.
Yeah.
You said, "Oh, we don't want 50-year-old white dudes with money. No, we want these imbeciles on Twitter who tweet all day long." Because tweets are currency now. And now you have to kowtow to their every whim, no matter how deranged.
Yeah.
There you go. Enjoy it. Yeah. Let's see how well this works out for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to come. They're after they're done with Gina, they're going to come after you. They're going to come after. They're going to come after. You know, they're going to come after KK at some point.
But you know. And you're right, Rob. That's what I'm saying, is that I'm fascinated to see how far they're going to go as far as
Kathy's protected.
Mom, she'll do something. She'll do something to fuck up in their eyes.
Nah, she hasn't yet.
Might take a while.
That's what I'm saying. Let's see here. I'm trying to get the chats up.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I
love it.
For God's sake.
But yeah, you know.
Fucking super chats aren't there again.
Oh,
What the hell?
StreamYard's going backwards again.
No, well, this is on YouTube. They're not there like they're supposed to be. I don't.
Just the amount of just she had the mental gymnastics she had to do to justify this.
Yeah, hopefully I didn't miss any in between here. But Roland
We have
asked,
to teach Gina Carano. We have to teach her. Fuck you. It's not up to you to teach her.
no. Hey, there are probably a little more than 1,000 electric unicycle drivers in the United States. So if you get interested, that is a win in my point of view. Hey, again, we showed a picture of one. They look fun.
We're kind of sponsored by it tonight, aren't we?
I guess so. Like I said, check out an electric unicycle. Now you've probably sold at least one or two more, buddy.
Yeah.
So if you're not working for them, you should be. Thank you for that. We appreciate the donations. And now I will never stop being able to think about electric unicycles ever again when I see your name, Roland S.
It's a thing, yeah. Oh my God.
It's evidently a thing.
Holy
Really?
crap.
I tried the what's the other one called?
Segway.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust myself on that thing.
That scared me, man. I was like,
You stay off it, Rob. You'll
I've
kill
seen
yourself.
people on the hoverboards, which is like a Segway without the handlebars. They always go off the rails.
Can I tell you guys something? I'm on. Today's the second day I've been practicing a rollerblades that Mrs. Slant got me for Valentine's, and that I'm in a parking lot that's been closed off because it's closed, but I'm scared there.
Wait till you start going backwards.
Join the club there.
Oh my God, really? Backwards? Oh no.
Yeah, you got to roller skate and rollerblade backwards.
No.
There you go.
Anyways, forget this.
Rob's a rollerblader.
Are you, Rob?
Oh yeah. I was a big time ice skater back in the day. I wanted to play hockey, but coming from a big family, couldn't afford equipment.
Gomer Kyle sends in $5. Says we have been trying to separate actors and characters they play for 5 years, almost if not longer, because 99% of Hollywood has been calling us toxic Yahtzees. Yeah, that's true. I think that's kind of referring back to the other point we were making earlier too, the beginning of the show.
Since winter set in, I'm like they got a lot of dust on them. I'm like, geez, all that dust already.
Ice skates are cheap, Rob.
Your rollerblades or ice skates?
I'll get him some ice skates if he really wants them.
No, I got a pair of skates. I just gotta go get them sharpened.
So yeah, as I predicted, they are coming after Gina next. Rosario next. So yeah.
One thing I always say, Paulie, is that whenever I used to teach anybody how to skate, whether rollerblading or on ice or whatever, I always tell them, listen, just accept right now. At some point, you're gonna fall.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that.
I mean, it's unavoidable. You hit a rock, you hit a little patch of sand. The only thing you could do is just learn how to fall properly and have the proper protective equipment.
Yeah. I'm honestly, I've been doing it without the equipment, so I'm asking for it.
Get yourself some elbow pads and some knee pads, and probably maybe a helmet. Yeah, maybe a helmet. Yeah,
maybe a helmet, maybe some butt pads because
definitely a helmet. I walked to the parking lot and put on my skates, and then I take them off and I walk back home. Like I'm not doing the sidewalk.
One thing you always want to do, you always, like I said, keep your knees bent and your weight and the weight on the balls of your feet. Mm-hmm. So that way, if you do fall, you'll fall forward. So you can try to brace yourself with your hands, try to catch yourself with your hands.
Well, I'll just do a nice little jiu-jitsu roll. That's what I've been, I've been bending the knees and all this stuff. Well, yeah, I don't bend the knee, man, but
I took a spill in that a while ago.
Uh-huh.
And I hit a rock and you hear that scratch. Ooh. And my left foot stopped, my right foot kept going forward.
Oh,
I think I said, son of a, and that was the last thing I pretty much said.
Yeah, these are nice set of blades she got me. She got herself a set too. Pretty nice. Yeah, I was like, okay, I better practice,
Yeah. All right, as you see here on screen now. Before I say anything, I don't want anybody to go over there and start spamming this video with a bunch of hashtag We Love Gina Carano. But if you do, you do.
Tag Midnight's Edge.
No, you don't have to do that. But no, Pedro is up on thing for AFI. Oh shit.
Uh-oh. Has it begun?
Yeah, it's begun.
Where's that link at? Where's the link at?
Oh no.
There's one for Favreau too, but I posted this one, of course.
Where's that? All right, I'll find it.
I got it in the private here too.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so yeah, again, don't go after Pedro per se, but I don't see anything wrong with stuff like this. I think this sends the message without being mean. Because there are some people on here who are like, why didn't you back up Gina? Which I agree with. I mean, I'm not going to say that I don't agree with it, but let's be nice about it. I think we can send our message with things like, we stand with Gina Carano, which is what I did here, right? So, like the outfit, oh my God. Yeah, what's up with this outfit, yo?
Total hipster.
It's very difficult to trust an adult man who doesn't wear socks with his
Pedro
shoes.
Pascal, and I'm honored The Mandalorian has been selected as an honoree at this year's AFI Awards. Being on the set of The Mandalorian is like being placed in the very center of your childhood dreams.
No.
Everything that you end up seeing on Disney Plus is exactly what it looks like on the set. You are around the very, very best people in the industry, and you get to see people do their very best.
Anyway, so yeah, he's just talking about the Mandalorian, and there was one from Favreau too. The one from Favreau, though, I thought was kind of interesting. Here, let me get to that one.
Oh, I see yours.
We always knew that we connect with
here it is.
people who grew up with Star Wars. What we didn't count on was that their kids would also want to sit on the couch with them. And to me, that's the real gift.
Wow.
Hi, AFI Movie Club. I'm Jon Favreau, the producer of The Mandalorian, one of AFI Awards' top 10 TV shows of the year.
And I'm going to jump through this bit because he just talks about this whole scene, and I don't want to get claimed by Disney.
Is a real genius at spearheading.
Blah, 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 blah.
Eric, it's going back to understand what it's capable of. Look in Lion King, where we do a very extensive previs using all of the department heads as part of the planning group. So we don't just have a previs department. We actually bring our cinematographers, our editors, treating it not unlike an animated film. And by partnering up with the artist and treating it as a full department, we're able to vet the story.
Sounds like he's got a cold.
And then we slowly evolve to a virtual environment. We had first used that technology using consumer-facing virtual reality hardware on The Lion King, and we were able to all be in that environment.
The Lion King. I love how he said that.
And it was only a small leap to be able to use the Unreal Gaming Engine. So that allows for an efficiency and a cohesion that allows us to get this, what I like to think of as feature quality entertainment and visual effects on a television schedule. Instead of building completely CG environments like there, we use real photography and do photogrammetry of actual people in the gag, biting our nails. He aged to reprise his role as work. I don't think people has to offer is that every week there should be some sort of revelation. There should be some sort of surprise. Of course, having Mark Hamill de-aged to reprise his role as Luke Skywalker in the final episode of this last season. As you can imagine, we were biting our nails till the bitter end to hope that it was a surprise. And what's commonly referred to as Baby Yoda, that reveal was in our first episode. None of the marketing material, none of the posters had Baby Yoda in it. It was just The Mandalorian for the first season. And as soon as that baby popped up, everybody was like, oh, I didn't get to be part of that experience of discovering this together. And I think that that's something that television does afford you, that I enjoy as an audience member, is this conversation between the filmmakers, the storytellers, and the audience. It's been a real fun exercise of drawing from the tropes of different genres, which is fair game in Star Wars, as long as you make it Star Warsy, and keeping George Lucas's vision alive. And I've been very lucky to have Dave Filoni working as my partner. I met him on the Clone Wars, the animated series. What's nice about it is that, we always knew that we connect with people who grew up with Star Wars. What we didn't count on was that their kids would also want to sit on the couch with them.
Okay,
and
so
to me, that's
did anybody notice anything about that I did? And welcome, Robert, and welcome, Culture Casino. You came in during the video.
Hello. He left out the president of Lucasfilm.
He did indeed. Thank you, script. But anyway, welcome, gentlemen.
And she had a noticeably fake smile on her face standing next to George Lucas.
But anyhow,
yes, I'm so happy to be here.
Welcome, Culture. How you doing?
Oh, very well, very well. Yeah, I noticed you'd shown the AFI discovery that we had this morning. So yeah, I was like, oh, this is amazing. So
yeah, and the Pedro video is getting a little attention. Robert, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I was just on my own stream, and then I saw that you sent me a link. I didn't know how long you guys have been on or whatever. You know me.
Closing in on 2 hours. We're not going to be going too much longer, but while you're here, we can get your feelings on a few things that are going on. Everything's canceled or bad for us anymore, it seems like, Robert.
Yeah, I don't quite understand that. I mean, as opposed to the rest of human history, it's not like we have a long, distinguished a litany of wonderful things mankind has perpetrated against one another. I would think that our entertainment and things that have brought people joy should be the last things that are being canceled.
Right. I agree. And I mean, I'm not so much against these warning labels they put on certain things, but that, to me, like a warning label is just one more step to something being censored. And I was still hard pressed to think of anything on the Muppets that can be remotely bad. I mean, I'm still stretching in my brain.
What I find strange is that why are we judging history from our perch?
Right.
Like history happened, it existed. And this idea that our own human history is somehow we need to be protected from it is very odd to me. I mean, the other thing, I think the reverse of what should be going on is we should be able to discuss what happens and say, look, this is a reflection of the time. This is how we've changed, or we've become better, or in a way become worse.
Yeah.
I think in some ways our need to protect ourselves is immature.
No,
I think we're infantilizing everyone behind weird tribal lines. It's saying, like, I'm being told, and any children are being told that you're no longer smart enough to discern what history means. And the fact that we have to be like, well, in the past we believed different things. We wanted the fact that we have to be told this now, to me, is an unbelievable failure of intellect. And the fact that, I'm sorry, I've been looking into a lot of things going on in academia now, and we have people in academia are living under fear. They're living under the fear of their own students for being reported on or informed on for saying something insensitive. I wish I was a teacher in a college, because I would start my class and I would say, listen, all you motherfuckers, let me tell you something. We're going to discuss a lot of things that might be uncomfortable for you, and you might feel bad about it. You know what? That's what's supposed to happen in college, because the universe is indifferent to your suffering. And if you're feeling uncomfortable, then I'm doing my job. And if you think that's problematic, get the fuck out of this class right now.
No, I agree with you.
That's how I would start my class.
I agree with you, because like you were saying before, I feel like, it is a detriment to opening up the conversation. These things should be opening doors for conversations instead of closing things.
I mean, it's amazing to me that there are certain things we can't even discuss anymore. Like, actually have a conversation about words, phrases, terminologies in an academic setting, to actually discuss things without worrying about, teachers have to worry about whether they're going to get reported on.
Well, speaking of that, go ahead.
No, it's just, it's really frightening. And people there are people, staff, there are teachers, professors that are living in fear of their students. What happened to living in fear of your professor? of not getting a good grade. Like it's
parents.
unbelievable.
Also, your parents.
Yeah, kids aren't afraid of their parents. But here's something that's exactly what you're talking about, Robert. We showed this earlier in the show, ironically enough. This is from a history teacher who posted this, right? Just listen to this stuff. This is teenagers.
Helen Keller is the Nazi guy.
No.
What Nazi guy?
I don't know. He's like a terrorist.
Helen Keller is a Nazi terrorist that is a male. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yeah, I'm gonna write Helen Keller up here.
Yeah. Right?
No.
Are you thinking of Hitler?
Who's Hitler? Who's Hitler?
Who is Hitler?
Helen Keller was the blind and deaf person who was fake. She didn't exist, but everyone believes she was deaf and blind.
What? She was fake?
Yeah, she was deaf and blind.
What Pearl Harbor was, if I say Pearl Harbor.
Is that a bridge?
Dude.
Do you know what D-Day is?
Who?
D-Day.
A person? A rapper?
Are you being...
That's the future, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and these are the people that are scared of certain concepts and things, and they're the special people that you need to watch out for, and it's crazy. It's such a bizarre place to be, and I don't, yeah.
It almost leaves you speechless. I mean, that type of neglect. We are neglecting these children if they don't know this information. It should be criminal that they have not been taught. History is important. History is important because it grants additional perspective in modern times, not just because we don't want to repeat it, which is, the oftentimes overquoted, statement, but it gives you a balance, a perspective, an opportunity to be better at your decision-making process. So if we eliminate history, which obviously we have, what else are we doing? I mean, I fear for the day somebody tries to land something on another planet at some point when they think 2 + 2 = dump truck. I mean, I'm tired of these things, and it filters down from the lowest levels to the highest, but it starts at the highest level and goes down to the lowest because we progressively created less intelligent human beings in our education system.
Yeah, no, we've absolutely. Well, we should say America has.
Other nations are following down the same rabbit hole. Right now, France, this is going to sound odd. France is doing the right thing. They're pointing at our university system and saying, we aren't going to become you.
Yeah, I mean, especially when it comes to critical race theory.
Yeah, well, everybody's trying to get out of that. You have entire states that are outlawing it because at a federal level, they want it in place. It's insane.
No, it is bizarre. And it's such a strange... It's the exact opposite of what people like Martin Luther King talked about, and I mean all of our great philosophers. But then again, nobody knows who they are anyway. So, I mean, it's shocking to me. But I noticed that like I've done a fair bit of speaking in colleges and in high schools, and I'm always surprised. Like I'll give a talk, and at the end, I'm always like, okay, let's open it up for questions. Nobody asks questions. A few people do. But for the most part, they don't. And like, I don't understand that. I mean, I grew up whenever we had guest speakers, we wouldn't let them leave, peppering everybody with questions. And I find the lack of intellectual or just inquisitiveness shocking.
Oh, yeah. Curiosity has been dying since the 90s. Like I noticed that in my age group where I would be in class, and what ended up happening is that the majority of people were there and they treated it like a chore because, number one, either the lesson wasn't engaging, or number two, there was something more interesting happening elsewhere. Like
on your phone.
Well, I mean, this is before phones for me because like cell phones didn't really become a thing or smartphones didn't become a thing until like 2007. So I was well out of college by then. But yeah, it was even at that time where they were only interested in the social cliques of that moment, of that age group, because that was given more priority over the actual education process. And on top of that, you're talking about 3 generations after the baby boom, where those numbers are just going up exponentially, and you have institutions that just can't handle the flow of students. So you have those people are hiring teachers and not vetting them to make sure they're able to do the curriculum required to give the best possible chance to these students. They're just trying to fill places in rooms of these kids that are coming at them at a rate that they weren't expected or prepared for. And now we're seeing the byproduct of that, where the teachers are there as basically glorified babysitters. Whether or not they achieve their goal to teach is irrelevant. It's just they're occupying kids so that their parents can go to work.
And the sad part is there's a lot of teachers who see it that way. I'm not saying all of them, because there are some really good teachers out there who genuinely want to teach.
Yes, absolutely. And they're lost among this.
But like, I just saw this story today, I think it was, or yesterday, where an entire staff practically had to step down from a school because they accidentally live streamed a meeting where they were bad mouthing the parents and the kids, claiming that the parents just wanted kids back in school, so they had babysitters for the day. It's like, okay, you mean the same parents that are probably out of work and whose kids actually need to get a fucking education because they probably haven't had a normal school week in over a year now? Like, come on, where the fuck? Yeah, it's just stupid. It's ridiculous. And you're right, Robert, about all this stuff. And I used to say it to my kid all the time. It's like, I don't understand how you guys can be so ignorant when you have the entire world in your hands. You have every answer you could ever need in your hands right now.
Well, also, I think, I'm old. So when I was growing up, even the pop culture was referring to historical events. Like you showed that thing about how many World War II movies did I watch as a kid?
Right.
Whether you're watching a sitcom like Hogan's Heroes, which is set in a concentration camp during World War II, or whether I was watching Where Eagles Dare or whatever my favorite, Guns of Navarone or The Longest Day or whatever, pick your World War II film, you were aware of these events. That's what that pop culture was about, history as well as, and nowadays I feel that you can immerse yourself in a world and never have to deal with history or never have to deal with the actual present, how life exists outside. When you put down your phone, it's like we're all living in a counterfeit world, and it's bizarre. It's just like, what do you, and I look at where, because Elizabeth has 2 daughters that are younger, and I wonder often, like, what do you think's going to happen to you in 5 years? Like, where do you think you're going to be? And it's a very interesting, like when I was a kid, I knew where I wanted to go. I had a direction, and it's like, there's a lot of work I needed to complete to get there. And nowadays I feel like, does anybody think about where they want to be? Are they, and I know that there are people out there, there's people, movers and shakers, and people getting into tech and industry and doing lots of things. But I feel that where are we? Like, when was the last time I heard a record album that I thought was relevant? Yeah, like a piece of music that, like a great a record that really spoke. And I know I'm older, but I keep waiting for that. I keep waiting for pieces of culture that resonate beyond. Look, I love the MCU and all that, but it doesn't resonate with me the way The Godfather does, or the way an Antonioni movie does.
No, you're right.
Let me send you some music, Robert.
No, even when you do have something that's historical in nature, just like say Dunkirk, you have a film that is historical in nature, based on actual events, based on real people. What was the conversation around that? Oh, it's not diverse enough.
Well, like Chernobyl, same thing. Yeah, but no, you're right, especially about music. Like music, and I know Paulie, you know some newer artists and stuff like that. And
I
far in between
with the music thing.
Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of great music being written. The problem is music was like a unifying cultural force when everybody was not necessarily listening to the same things, but you kind of knew. You go into a place and everyone knows certain songs, but it's like I long for the days when I would have a whole album speak to me, or I would have to go listen to.
I'll send you 2 albums.
Oh, okay, well that's good. But even like listening,
you one, and I'll send you no one.
Yeah, but are they Latin music though, Paulie?
Are they Latin music? What does it matter?
I'm just curious. I am.
Well, no, I like all kinds of music.
My point. No, it does matter to my point though, because I think
it's music. One will be in English, and one actually one's going to be all instrumental.
Okay. Oh well, yeah. I mean, I'll listen to anything, even if it's not English. I love all kinds of music. It's funny. I was listening earlier today. There's There's a website called AOR Disco. Album, basically the premise, it's been around for 20 or 12 years. It's a website where there's a lot of DJs and remixers who take music from like the 70s when we had album-oriented rock and AM radio still ruled. And they do a lot of incredible remixes of everything from like Fleetwood Mac to Foghat to, and I was listening to a play. Some DJs do like 2-hour mix sessions of this music, and it's incredible. It's incredible. And they've taken old music and completely renovated it and made it fit into a modern context. And I love it. And the website's called AOR Disco.
One of the things, though,
about music. Go ahead, Rob. Sorry.
One of the things is that it's changed, though. Apart from music changing, because it's gotten inherently worse. And the people say, well, you're just old. I say, no, it's actually.
No, I think it has.
Yeah.
Is that you had to. There was a time you had up until like what, maybe 10, 15 years ago, you actually had to. Up until 20 odd years ago, you had to leave the house to go buy music. And you had to go somewhere to buy music. And it was some place, that magical place, the record store, which sold CDs and cassettes and sometimes other stuff, T-shirts and other stuff. But it was, I think you actually had to put forth an effort to listen to something. And there were other people. You had to be around other people. You got to see what they were buying. You got to go through a used bin and see what people listened to. And maybe they didn't like it, but maybe you would like it. So the fact that we've made music so easy to get, I think, is part of the problem. Because, like I said, you used to open up. Let's just say
it's
Sergeant
disposable
Pepper.
now. Yes.
Yeah. Let's just say Sergeant Pepper. A lot of thought was put behind it. The gatefold sleeve you had in the original pressings. You had the record, the sleeve inside, the paper sleeve. You had cutouts. You had lyrics on the back of the back of the jacket. You had photographs. You had there were famous people on the photographs. You could identify them. Now it's just reduced to an innocuous little file on your desktop in a folder that there's nothing special about, that it looks exactly the same as others.
Yeah, and I know Polly really wants to bring up a few things, and I know there are a few and far between artists here and there who pop up and are rarities, and especially if they're making their own music. But the big problem has been the digital revolution in music. And then the other thing I see is when it comes to popular music specifically, that to me, the proof is in the pudding that music used to be better, because most of the artists that are still creating decent music are ones that are old, or somebody like Sia, who was an old singer and writer for years and years and years, and then finally decided, fuck it, I'm going to do it again. And now she's actually our age, and she's probably one of the most popular songwriters and singers alive right now. And that's the thing that I think is escaping, is that there's very few young artists that are being brought up, because the digital age has made it so easy for anybody to be a musician, to where actually learning how to play a real instrument has become like a novelty. And being able to sing, you don't have to sing anymore. Auto-tune exists. And nowadays it's more about the package. It's more about, do they look good? Are they, do they dance well? Can they sell some records and all that kind of stuff? And I know even Billie Eilish is not that popular, but hey, at least she writes her own fucking music.
And Phineas produces. They produce
and Phineas produces it. It's like, as you can like her or hate her, but she's one of the rarities out there to where she's not like a lot of these other kids where they're just repackaging the same old thing. And I mean, I get what you're saying, Robert, and I appreciate good remixes and stuff like that as any person, but I think that's a lot of the problem, is there's just so many people who have forgotten the art of making a song. Even the Beatles' sloppiest fucking tunes that they recorded in 2 takes sound better than some of the newest shit, because it's too polished, too perfect, too whatever it is. It's soulless. It's very soulless.
Well, it's interesting. I just watched the documentary that Frank Marshall, Kathleen Kennedy's husband, directed on the Bee Gees. That's on HBO Max. And you forget, because most people only know the Bee Gees from Saturday Night Fever. But I was a kid. I used to love some of their earlier stuff, like Nights on Broadway and Lonely Nights. Those are songs that I do, and I had a bunch of Bee Gees records. And
I like Jive Talking. That was a good one.
A great song.
The Bee Gees are great. They wrote a lot of music. Speaking of writing music for other people too.
Yeah, totally did. And it was really interesting to watch, these guys that could play instruments and harmonies, and they could go into a studio and make shit up on the fly and record it. And I mean, it was real talent. And I think now, like you were saying, Tom, learning how to playing an instrument is a lifelong discipline. You know, it's not something you to be good at it. You know, I took up the trumpet when I was in junior high school and I got in 7th grade because I wanted to be Miles Davis. I quickly realized I was not going to be Miles Davis, but I've always loved Miles Davis and I wanted to play trumpet like him. But Miles Davis was Miles Davis because he was born to be Miles Davis. You know, you can't decide you want to be him and then suddenly become him.
Yeah, today the most common instrument people are learning is the ukulele, and I would hardly call that an instrument. Personally.
But the thing is most people can usually at least learn one instrument. Like that's the greatest thing. No matter what your disability may be, your inability may be, or your talent may be, at some point you're going to be able to find at least one type of musical instrument or way of expressing yourself musically. Just about everybody can, even deaf people can. You know, so like I feel like music should be like the thing that lost its soul is the little, and I can't remember what documentary pointed this out, but it was talking about why Freddie Mercury and Michael Jackson are basically considered two of probably the greatest singers of all time. And it's not because they were perfect singers. It was because of the little imperfections they did. And the way they did the things they did, that it wasn't, that's what makes pop music and singers differentiate themselves from an actual, like, you know, soulless computer, you know, because they haven't whatever. And I also saw another video where they actually took like Freddie Mercury's voice and put it into auto-tune and it ruined it.
Yeah. Look, when it comes to music, this is going to roll right back to education. I'm going to backtrack a little because
that's a big part.
What we don't have in many of these schools is music programs. They're abandoning music. They're abandoning sports. They're abandoning these in many schools. Your opportunity to be a part of a team now requires funds from your family in order to be on you end up on a traveling baseball team possibly, or you can't. They don't have a music program at your school. You have to pay. It's an extracurricular that has to be paid for. It's usually not within school hours if you're lucky enough to have even that. You know, you don't have like the neighborhood piano teacher as like you used to. You know, you don't have the guy down the street that'll teach you guitar. You don't have a lot of these things. And, you know, these kids, again, they're not exposed to those things because they're no longer available. They've been pulled out in favor of what? Because we can see a dearth in what they're learning. I mean, in emptiness of the things they aren't learning. And, you know, I mean, it's represented in the short video we watched just a few moments ago. It's a weird thing. And then these kids, they get out of school and they're either rudderless, which was a conversation we were just having, or they have expectations that are not reasonable. I want to be an executive vice president by the time I'm 23. Well, did you start Apple? I mean, I'm sorry. They expect instant achievement when they don't want to climb the ladder. There's no work put in. We're living in a far different world where these expectations are immediate success, or the polar opposite being somebody who's rudderless. They walk out and they don't know what they're going to do, or they get a worthless degree that the world doesn't want to pay for. So.
Well, and I want to bring it back around because Paulie wanted to bring up a few musicians. And the reason I asked Paulie if it was Latin music or not, because generally the country and a few other places like Latin music and other places are where a lot of the music is still traditionally rooted in the classical styles where they actually still play instruments. You know, that's why I asked, because as I say, that's kind of an exception to the rules, because as you know, 90% of most popular music nowadays is made on an iPhone or an iPad or a computer, and no real instruments are ever really involved. So like, but you were bringing up some points though, that there are some artists out there though that are newer and
go ahead, Robert. I'll go ahead.
No, I was just going to say one of the things about like Latin music is it's part of the culture. You know, people are picking up guitars and people are playing instruments, and it's a whole. I think it's baked in. Whereas I don't think that's other than picking up a guitar in the Old West and riding your horse out. You know, it's not necessarily. And you think the great music forms that are American, jazz again was derived out of a culture. You know, all the way back to the slaves in the cotton fields singing and creating that kind of music. I mean, these were musical forms that came out of culture.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one of the joys. Like if you go down to Mexico or you go down to Latin America or you go to even like Spain, there's just something in the culture that is musical. I don't know what that means or how it works, but it just is
I
ingrained
kind
in
of
it.
get what you're saying. Yeah. No, and that's one thing too. Like jazz is a great example of a type of music that I don't think that computers could ever emulate. Like, because it's so spontaneous in its form. Like that's the other thing too. But yeah, Paul, you wanted to say some things, and then we got to get through these super chats as well.
Gosh, so much to say. You guys have been saying some great stuff. Music's there. Great music is there. It's more independent now.
Yeah.
One of the travesties of this past year is that a lot of bands can't tour, so they can't make good livings as it used to.
Sustain themselves.
And I'm coming across that with so many people that I interview. The drummer of Los Lobos had to move back to Mexico because there was no choice. It was a fantastic for him. Yeah, they're not. They haven't played in live in over a year, and they haven't recorded anything new in over a year and a half.
That's just criminal.
That was their Christmas album, which was very successful. But it was a great interview because, it was fascinating, guys, because he was in a band before and he'd been schooled. He's been studied. He's trained. And then when he went to work for Los Lobos, he said in the interview, I had to learn how to play the drums all over again. It's a fantastic interview, right? Gracias. It's a fantastic interview. And it was also, it re-inspired me because, Bugs, that's his name, Bugs, he's a fairly young man still. He wasn't the original drummer, but he's, been the drummer for Lobos for over 10 years. And he, there's him and just the people who I've had on the channel, which is a small segment, is that you're right. As far as being connected to instruments, but there's a lot of schooling there. I don't want to get
absolutely no, and I wasn't trying to say you were wrong at all.
It doesn't mean like you still got to go to school for it. It doesn't matter. You can have a talent for it.
No, I just wanted to be clear that I was talking about mainstream pop music, basically.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of good points, and I'll be glad. I always love sharing music because I listen to new music almost every day, and we're gonna have a spring concert on the Latino Slant in a couple weeks.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
but you bring up a good point, Bill Pauly, though, that you still have to be schooled. And you're Robert, you said one of your biggest lifelong dreams desires is to learn how to play guitar.
Yes.
Right now, there are more quality instruments, guitar. It's a great time to learn because there's quality instruments that are around $400.
Right.
So it's within more people's reach. But the thing is, you still can't get around the fact that you actually have to put the time in and practice.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of kids aren't willing to do that.
Well, and also the technology that exists. There's all kinds of programs that help you learning how the strings, frets, all that you can learn how to play. But yeah, like you said, you got to put the time in.
What's really cool right now? Sorry, what's really cool right now is a lot of these teachers are available online because they're not touring.
Right.
I mean, like you could get a lesson from the lead singer of Santana, virtual. Either they're trying to figure out all that stuff, but it's happening, and that's really exciting.
I do hope, like, one of my favorite YouTubers is this guy named Davey504. And he's got, I don't know if you know him, he's working on 10 million. He's almost got 10 million subscribers. And his whole thing is the bass guitar. He's an incredible bass guitarist. And he does his channel is very funny, and I watch it a lot. And he's actually instilling in people, I think, a love of the bass. And going on to Fiverr and finding other he's young, but I think he's inspiring a lot of younger people to want to pick up an instrument and start playing. And when you see a YouTube influencer with almost 10 million subscribers whose entire channel is based around great skill at playing an instrument, I'm like, okay, there's a future here. But I think, like culture, you were saying, one of the things about when I was going to school is after school programs, whether it was drama, music, sports, arts, whatever, it allowed people to explore education for its own sake. Now it's like, unless there's a direct correlation between dollar value and school time or something, then we have to get rid of it all. Well, who's to say? Like, I was on the high school newspaper, and we didn't have computers. We had to actually have to still paste up the paper. We had to typeset it and paste it up with chart pack tape. And you'd write the articles, and then you drive out to our typesetter and you'd go with your compatriots, like the 5 or 6 other idiots that were on the paper with you to do this. And it took work, and then the next day it would be printed, and you'd give it out at the school. And it was something that we made. And it was something that you had to learn to work with other people to create. And you were learning life skills within the context of a school classroom, but you learned so much more. And it was those lessons, just how to sit in a room with somebody and get along while you're trying to achieve a goal together. That's all of that's missing. And that's unquantifiable in terms of test scores or anything like that. And that's what I feel we're really losing.
Yeah.
There's an album I'm going to share with all you guys, and it's really cool because he does a fantastic cover of Fleetwood Mac. And you had mentioned Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
I I don't like covers, but this one is really different. Everything else is original, but I'll send you guys the link to it.
Well, here's a perfect example. The last few albums I bought the Ninja Turtles 2 Waxwork soundtrack, of course. But then the other day I got David Bowie, greatest nothing. It's like a greatest hits, and as I said before, Sia, and this one's already 2016. So I don't buy anything that's brand new. I mean, I even got my record player because I've been ripping some of my records to the computer. But that's just it.
You got that Zoot Suit soundtrack that you.
Yeah, I've had that for a while. See, and I got Grease 2 soundtrack because I buy soundtrack lots. That's why.
Robert, I think you're right though. You mentioned Davey, and I've checked out his videos many times. I love his challenges for the other Fiverr musicians.
Oh, they're amazing.
Yeah, and he's like, okay, play this, and then he's like, they challenge him, can you play this and whatever, the hardest bass riff ever, whatever he does, and his delivery is amazing, his personality is beautiful, and he's a hell of a bass player.
He's a hell of a bass player, and that's the funny thing. If he wasn't, it wouldn't work.
No.
But when you see him wail on the bass, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. He's and so you're watching him. He's talking about the techniques. He's telling you, okay, I'm going to do this. This is what you did. This is, and then he goes, and then he just rattles it off. And you're like,
yeah,
that's amazing. You can't, that's, he's practiced for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to get to that point, and he had an education, and he probably took a bunch of music theory, and it's just the best musicians ever are the guys that dedicated themselves and probably got masters or doctorates in music. Those are the guys that really just they outshine everyone, and it's obvious in their work and the quality of their work. It's just we don't have that anymore.
I mean, there's still some places. One of my favorite videos that popped up on YouTube recently or on Facebook. Tommy, I was a big fan of Styx, the band Styx, growing up, and Tommy Shaw in the band Styx sings a song that's off the Grand Illusion called "Fooling Yourself."
Yeah,
and he sings it with a kids orchestra, a high school kids orchestra, where he does the vocals and plays guitar, but he's got a whole symphony orchestra of high school kids with him, and it's great. It's great.
Fooling yourself.
Yeah, that's it. That song.
You're killing yourself.
Good
and
song.
You don't believe. I love that song, man.
Yep.
So good. Man, music was amazing back then. And again, now music's it's hard to find good stories. I mean, what's fortunate is we have a music person with us because, we have two. Yeah, well, Rob. But you have Latino Slant. Paulie, if you go there, he has musicians on regularly. He brings them in, he interviews them. They'll perform. They have, these. Paulie does a really good job with the music stuff, and I've come to 2 new artists because of him. I follow a couple of channels now because of him.
Yeah, Paulie does introduce a lot of good new music and stuff.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
I like how you guys mentioned, you know, like whether it was the Beatles or the Bee Gees, I mean, they all came like, you know, especially the Beatles, from real humble beginnings, you know, like they weren't schooled, you know, but they had that of course, and then there's always that too, and I think that's what we're also, you know, kind of missing and talking about. And there's some bands that are there that are like that, you know. You do gotta do the work, you know. Sometimes we get so just like with our movies and our comics, like we get in our bubble and we forget that we gotta go do a little bit of the go walk the earth a little bit.
But that's the general audience, though, too, Paulie, because basically most people don't know music beyond whatever's loaded up to Vivo. Like, I mean, kids don't even know what MTV is anymore. No. I mean, that's what's sad. Well, but
well, they know what MTV is. They just don't play music videos.
No, well, don't even get me on that story again, because I got these super chats I want to get through, and a couple of them are at Robert.
I'm sorry.
So before he leaves, I want to catch him. Fezman sent in five. That's pounds. We got British pounds, Rob. And he's gone. That sucked. Life is good, but could be better, says Fezman. Well, hopefully it's good for enough, at least. That's all that matters. Roland S says, use protection when driving an electric unicycle. Of course. Always remember to use protection. Adam Mulford says, so last week with the freezing temperatures and snow, I saw a man riding a unicycle. He was riding it through the snow at -6. Yes, that was probably pretty cold. Goddess of Whim says, did you hear Harry Shearer is no longer Dr. Hibbert on The Simpsons? Yeah, we brought it up earlier a little bit. That's kind of was the whole idea of this whole like cancel everything. They're going to end up doing the same thing they did to Apu probably. They made a big stink about it. So they ended up basically pushing the character to the background. So they took a character who was, you know, a well-known Indian character on television, and they pushed him to the background. Good job. So now, you know, one of the few black people on The Simpsons is now going to get pushed to the background. Good job. Okay. That's what you get when you do that shit. You don't get progress. You just get shit like that. North of 48 says, you're going to say something? Sorry.
No. I wasn't going to add anything. I was just going to parrot. I won't do that.
No, that's fine. I'm kind of speeding through these, and I apologize, but yeah, I got to get ready for High Council here in a little bit. Do you guys think they will delete the first 5 seasons of Sesame Street? I don't see why they would, but then again, they'll probably find something problematic in there. And then there's one for Robert. Roland S says, with €2, R&B, greatest teacher of all time.
Yeah, swearing in school. Telling kids that
he is a good teacher, though.
I just think that we need we need to be more mindful of this. We can't pretend history didn't happen.
Exactly. No, but you are a teacher in a lot of ways. You're my professor of nerddom.
Well, there's speaking of professors, there's another good YouTube channel, the Professor of Rock. I don't know if you guys ever watch that guy.
Yes, I do.
I like his channel a lot too.
Good production value. I think he came from the Vivo side of things, but he went off on his own or something like that. It looked like, but yeah,
he was actually a music historian in his town, and so he's the real deal.
I found him through Vivo though, or something like that. He was on a bigger channel, and then he went off on his own with the channel, the Professor Rock channel. So I think it was Vivo he was on. I can't remember now, but like, yeah, he did all these interviews and stuff. He got some good stuff on there. Check that out for sure if you haven't. Rob, you'd like that channel. You ever check that one out?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, check that one out. Professor Rock. He knows he's got a lot of good interviews and stuff on there. Really? And like the stories of songs and stuff. It's really cool. All right, next one we got. Let's see. R&B is the greatest teacher. We got that one. Eric Winberg says, R&B, sign me up for that class. Roland S says, we really should start voting at 16 years old. Oh, that would be a great idea. Yeah, these kids really know how to vote. DCV Titan says, not all countries are following America down the education failure rabbit hole. China is teaching their boys to man up. Well, I mean, again, like I'm sure there's, like we were just saying, that there's some areas that, of course, they always want to emulate America, but America is definitely in a really bad spot when it comes to education right now. And again, like what sucks is there are good teachers out there who want to teach, and then there's some teachers who just want to sit on their butts and pretend to be babysitters. So that's the problem we have. And they just want to push their agendas on top of it. And then Tiberius Monk wishes he was you were his professor, Robert Meyer Burnett.
Well, thank you.
The professor of pop culture, Robert Meyer Burnett.
Yeah, that's.
He
I
is,
would love. Actually, I would love to have a course like that. You know, pop culture and storytelling or something.
You are the professor of pop culture, man.
I don't think I could ever get hired in academia, to be honest.
Just do it on your channel, man. Today's class.
I know.
Dude, academia?
I shit you not. You just get yourself like, you know, a little professor, get up, get a desk. You know how to do it.
Get a tie.
Yeah.
Don't even have to wear a dress shirt for it. Just put it over top of your hoodie.
Get a dry erase board, and you're like, today's
a blazer with patches on the elbow.
Today's lesson.
No, a hoodie with patches on the elbow. There you go.
Yeah, that's what it is.
There you go.
I would definitely go to the school of Robert Meyer Burnett.
Yeah. Well, kind of that isn't that what some of you are doing? I
mean,
it's
kind of what your show is in a way. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you're teaching. I learn a lot by watching Robert.
But no, I mean, honestly, I would totally watch, like, if you did a like a serious program of, like, yeah, you know, like the professor of pop culture, and you teach, you know, this week we're going to talk about Star Trek, or, you know,
or a sci-fi book that not
or a sci-fi book or whatever, or Logan's Run, or something like that, you know, and just really dive into it and just kind of give everybody a 101 on it. That'd be really cool. I know it's an idea.
Yeah, this is why the story works. I mean, a lot of times we don't have that kind of analysis, right? It just, you know, this is good, this is where the movie misses, but we never talk about why the story works because X, Y, and Z. You know, there's this pathway to this hero's journey, and it starts here and it ends here, and the author's trying to tell you this. I mean, I don't think we get enough of that kind of analysis. I think broader concepts, how to make stories work. I would love that. I'd love that.
Well, you got over 6 different methods of story formula, and those are just the recipes. And once you become an expert in those recipes, that's where, like a chef, you get to zazz it up with your own little extra ingredients to make it something new and fresh. Yeah. And that's why it's really important to learn those perspectives.
Absolutely.
And those formulas.
Mystery box, right? Right, script. Yeah. Mystery box. Throw that in there.
That's not a writing concept. That's
right. No, I know that's the spice, right?
It's a new version of MacGuffin.
That's actually cooking with only the spice and none of the ingredients,
right? And lens flare. Roland S comes back again. This episode has been brought to you by Roland S, by the way. Questions for the really woke people. I can't remember exactly what you're referring to there. Sorry, it took us so long.
Questions are for the really
questions
woke
are
people.
for the you got it. See, that's why I have script here. He helps me read. Roland S. The intellectuals laugh while the world expires. Maybe that, or they're just pitying the rest of the world. I don't know if I consider myself an intellectual of any kind. I'm definitely a pundit, I suppose. That's about it. Adam Wolford coming back again says they said the same thing about the Ghost of Tsushima. They said where is all the black people and why isn't there trans person?
That's so
and where's
weird.
Chun-Li? Why isn't she in the Mortal Kombat movie? That's the kind of people we're dealing with here.
Oh man, that was so funny. I caught that right off the bat.
Did you see that, Robert?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. Then we got Roland S. Again, as I said, this episode is brought to you by Roland S. When you could remove woke with extreme prejudice, would that be better society? What are the dangers of a swing in the opposite direction? That's a good question. And actually, not to segue too far, but that kind of brings me, that's been the big question about this whole thing with Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire movie service thing. I'm hoping they keep it level-headed and they don't go too far in that other direction. But yeah, we could, these kind of things, the problem you're setting yourself up for with the one extreme is always the opposite extreme. May rise. And I've said it before that a lot of the problems we're having here nowadays are creating more racists and misogynists and sexists and transphobes and homophobes and all these other things that they're slinging out there. They're creating these people now because of a lot of this unacceptance. I mean, look at, yourself, Robert, what you dealt with. You said it yourself. Like, I thought these were supposed to be the people of understanding, and they're the ones coming at me, like vultures, basically.
Yeah.
No, well, what I find even stranger is why is their first response to go after other people?
Yeah.
Like it's very weird. Like this,
it's a bully's response.
It's a bully's response. And also it's this idea that we are going to go, somebody said something I don't like, so we're going to go after them and what? take away their life, their livelihood? What if they're the ones that are the breadwinner for their grandmother who's in a care facility? You know, why are you going to go after people? It's such a strange thing to me. And what that's just not my baseline. My baseline is like, well, I might hate this person, but why do I hate this person? And if I hate this person, do we have any common ground? And I think what's really interesting is every single person, it doesn't matter who or what you are, there is some common ground you can find with another person. You might have to look for it, but there's something, you'll find something, whether it's, I don't know, music, sports, pop culture, cars, food, experience. There
Breathing.
is something there's something you will find, and you can, and if nothing else, then bond with somebody on that tip. You know, I mean, find some place to try and go from there.
We actually brought that up just before you came in, Robert, because we were talking about how when Paulie and I were talking about La Bamba a couple weeks back, you know, we noticed the similarities between Mexican and Irish families, and you know, Italian families and stuff like that, and
Catholicism.
Because that's what we were saying. We came up with all the things that were similar, you know, and with the mothers being like the matriarch of the family, and you know, just the big families on top of the, you know, the Catholic and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and how, you know, there's more traits in that, but like, we were just going on about how that's, like you said, we brought that up earlier. It's find something, you know, that we know. And was it you, Rob, who told me this, or somebody else told me this? But like, they were trying to talk to somebody and they couldn't understand anything, and then all of a sudden somebody just said Star Wars. Oh yeah, Star Wars, something like that. It was like just a universal language. All of a sudden, there was something they could connect with.
I'll tell you,
I don't know if that was you, Robert, or not, but
I don't usually admit this.
My Rob is what I meant, but yeah.
Oh, it's a long story. I was in the LA County jail. I found myself going to the LA County jail, and I happened to be wearing a sport coat and let's just say I did not look like the typical, and being that I was also white, I was definitely in the smallest of minorities in the LA County jail. And it was a little rough, to be honest. I'd never been in jail before, and I was in there for a silly situation. And what was really interesting, you know, I could see that it could have gone badly for me. But, you know, somebody started having a conversation about martial arts movies. And they couldn't remember the name Ong Bak. They were talking about Tony Jaa.
Oh, so this was kind of recently.
This was 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago. And I said they couldn't remember the name, and I just, that's Ong Bak. And the guy turns to me and goes, "Have you seen it?" I mean, this guy and I probably would never have known each other in real life. And we were in real life though. And I said, "Yeah, man, I've totally seen it. It's Tony Jaa." And he goes, "I love that movie. I love Tony Jaa." And suddenly, here was a guy that maybe I might have had static with. Let's just say that. And he and I start bonding on martial arts movies. I asked him if he'd seen The Raid, and he lost it. And we're sitting there talking about The Raid and The Raid 2, and then we're all waiting to get processed, right? Then everybody here, I'm a guy. They started calling me Alec Baldwin and calling me a lawyer because I look like what did you do? Kill your wife? It was really funny. It was a very funny situation. And then in the middle of all of this, suddenly this guy and I didn't understand what politics meant in jail, which is mostly racial tension and all. I didn't get any of this. So there I was having a conversation with this guy, and I did not know that I was, say, transgressing this unwritten, like who I am and not supposed to talk to. He and I start talking about martial arts movies, and everybody else started chiming in. And everybody wanted to get in on the conversation. And suddenly, as we're waiting to get processed in LA County, where you know everybody, it's always a party. Suddenly we're all of us were bonding over martial arts movies, and any tension that was there went away. It went away. And then it was, what was really interesting is as you're getting processed, you get divided up into smaller and smaller groups of people. The whole time I was like, "Hey man, what's up?" Like the conversation kept going as we're being divided into smaller and smaller groups. People would come over and go, "Hey, but have you seen this movie? Or what's your favorite Bruce Lee movie?" And it was just, and it proved to me, it's like, it doesn't matter I'm in LA County jail and I'm having conversations with anybody about martial arts movies. And it just proved to me, it doesn't matter where you are or where you go or what situation you're in, there is some common ground that you can find with everyone. And what's really interesting is if you engage in the conversation and suddenly you're actually having a conversation about something that you both love, there's no chance you're going to offend the other person because they understand that there's common ground. And if you do say something they might get pissed off by, they still understand that you're having a conversation within the context of a martial arts film conversation. So they can move beyond that. And I just thought that was hilarious. Only I could go to LA County Jail and end up in a conversation with everybody about martial arts movies. Even though they were still making fun of the fact I look like a lawyer, even though I thought that was hilarious too.
Okay, let's get to the rest of these super chats so we can end this so I can get over to the High Council, which is going to be starting in less than 10-15 minutes here. Valiant Renegade says the neighborhood music teachers are still there. My wife owns the music school with 10 other teachers employed, but that culture needs more support. Oh yeah, it always has.
Yeah.
The arts have always been neglected. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, it was more so like, the sports were always getting all the funding, but the arts were getting less and less and less. And I always thought it was bullshit because I was like in like the lower end art stuff, like drawing and music and acting and stuff. So like we had to go raise money ourselves and shit, which was fucking bullshit.
Speaking of, and I'm glad really quick, and God bless that last person who put that super chat. Every time we do a concert, we give all the tips away to either Music Cares or the musicians. They pick the charities.
There you go.
Wow, so that is really important, guys. And I know everyone in the chat is really gracious. This community is hella gracious with that stuff. So
absolutely,
I just want to say that.
Yeah, you guys are great when it comes to that kind of stuff. Brother John sends him one and says, music consists of real musicians playing real music instruments and singers who can actually sing. This stuff they call music is audio caca. Well, yeah, and I was having a little conversation on the side in the chat too with one of you guys out there. And yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, yeah, you can do just about anything with, computers and MIDIs, and, you can even produce an entire hit song on your iPhone now. But what's missing is, the individuality, the humanity is missing from a lot of the music. It's just not there anymore. Even the singers are so artificial a lot of times. So that's where I generally find myself gravitating towards the musicians and singers who obviously don't use a lot of that crap and actually play their own instruments. And like I said, unfortunately now it's become more and more older musicians, but as Paulie says, there are still some out there and we just got to find them. That's the thing, unfortunately. But yeah, that's why we're here to help you guys find them. Thanatos Felicitas says, Neil Peart, drummer of Rush, relearned the right way to drum to be a better drummer. Rick Allen, drummer of Def Leppard, lost an arm. Yeah, and those are two great stories there about musicians relearning things. And speaking of relearning, we brought this up the other day when Madonna was out there bitching about the man. And I'm like, woman, you were basically on top of the world for 30 fucking years. Nobody took away your voice but you, because you didn't sing right for fucking 20 years is nobody's fault but your own. And I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but yeah, Madonna had sang the wrong for the last however many years of her first part of her original career, that by the time she got into acting and stuff is when she actually got vocal training and had learned that she had been singing wrong and destroying her voice for about 20 years. That's a true fucking story. But yet she wants to sit there and put stuff like that out there. It's like, you're the last white woman in the world to be saying shit. You've got more privilege than anybody. Like, come on. Madonna, please. Diva's practically your name. But no, you're right about that. If you're somebody, you can always play an instrument. I think that's what you were referring to when I said that before. There's always something out there for you to learn, even if it's just the tambourine. Mr. Tickletrunk, our good buddy, says the lessons of science fiction with your professor, Robert Meyer Burnett, and his assistant, script doctor. Lesson 1, human condition.
We're both equal. We just switch off.
Yeah, I've actually been a professor in academia for a year. So.
Yeah, there you go. See, Robert, you just consist more of the technical side of things, and script will handle more of the story script side of things like that.
Oh, we could both do both. I mean,
that's true.
It's just an off. Yeah, it just rotate.
Just do it. Just do it. I don't care. Just do it. I want to watch it.
I used to
Roland
like-
S. Go ahead.
No, it was just a Madonna joke.
Oh, go ahead. No, please do.
No,
Please do.
It was a line reading from Reservoir Dogs. So.
Oh gosh,
Oh,
dick.
Yeah,
How many dicks is that?
It's a lot.
it's a lot. I used to like her in Borderline, but she got that True Blue. I tuned out.
Why do I got to be Mr. Pink?
Because you're. Oh, you
can say it, Polly.
We've been saying that
You
word.
can swear unless you're just doing it for your own whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine. I mean, if that's what you gave up for whatever Lent or whatever you celebrate, that's your thing. But Roland S says this. I think this is our last super chat, and this will play us out here. And today, Robert Meyer Burnett is teaching us the finer points of Star Trek. Why not? Star Trek STG is fun,
right.
great in philosophy and intellectual. There you go. I think you got too much shit on your plate already, but that's another thing to put in the idea plate. So with that, I think we're going to wrap this up. I want to thank Robert for coming in here, and Culture for coming in here, and Paulie for coming in here. We appreciate you guys, and Script as always being our fifth Beatle, and Rob has probably been watching porn for the last 10 minutes. Toby,
70s, I hope 70s porn.
Yeah.
Toby fucking
Toby too.
Toby.
Fucking Charlie Chan. I got big dicks over here in one ear. And I got big. Sorry.
He's got the poster. You're allowed.
I know.
man.
I just put the light on.
As I said, I got bad motherfucker on my wallet. So you thought you.
This is K Billy's Super Sounds of the 70s weekend.
This weekend is the big bohemian.
Bubblegum pop ditty.
It's tricky to impersonate Stephen Wright.
Yeah, he's
got
not good. But that was a
flat.
really good one, Robert. You did pretty good there.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. With that, I got like just enough time to go to the bathroom before the show, probably. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Again, I want to thank my guests, and I appreciate you being here. Here's a Timmy for everybody. And we'll maybe do a quick koala, and we'll go.
Koalas in the rain.